It's time for Norton and Friends.
I like it.
In the morning, Norton and Friends. In the morning, let's play Monster Rain. OP is a shit day.
Comedy. Broadcasting. Welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Hey, everybody.
Remember when you say hey when you were a kid and someone would go, hey, is for horses?
No, nobody ever did that to me.
Travis, never?
No. I wasn't friends with total assholes.
My friends were filled with humor.
Would you do that, or would your friends do that to you?
This was just something people said, hey, is for horses. That was a way of, like, them telling you, like, teachers would even do it. Like, that's not polite to say hey.
Oh.
So it was kind of a lesson.
No, see, we grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that's when all the rules got thrown out the window.
I wish you grew up until the early 2000s, September of 2001 to be exact.
So you wish that I had died in 9/11?
Well, you know. Or thereabouts.
Oh, no. The Gen Xers, they left behind us a trail of no rules. No rules. So saying hey was no longer impolite, it was a greeting.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it just got crazy.
Just my generation didn't care for it.
It just got crazy. Well, welcome to the show. We have a busy show today.
Yes, we do.
We have a very busy show. Jason Ellis is stopping by. Laura Jane Grace from the band Against Me is stopping by. She's got a book out and a very, very, I guess, fascinating story.
Yeah.
That I'm excited to talk to her about. And Nick Kroll and John Mulaney.
Nick Mulaney.
Why don't I just call you guys Nick Mulaney, huh? Yeah, and from Oh Hello are coming by. I got to see them on Broadway a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you went?
Yeah. It was really funny. And it's fun to watch because I would assume that they end up throwing in a bunch of improv because they were laughing a bunch on stage. Like they were breaking character and laughing, which I enjoy. It doesn't take me out of it. I just think it's fun. I think it makes people laugh more for the most part, unless you're over the top about it.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. I did their show at the Cherry Lane Theater when they were running it.
Oh, were you one of the celebrity guests?
Well, just guests.
You don't want to refer to yourself that?
No, no one else does either. I was just one of their guests.
Yeah, you're one of the Cherry Lane Theater guests, not one of the Broadway guests.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I was bummed out because they do a segment on the show where they interview somebody, and they bring in a celebrity, and they brought in Alan Alda, and they brought in a ton of people. But when I went, they just brought up the guy who's starring in School of Rock on Broadway. I didn't know who he was. Well, I wanted a big celebrity to come out and talk about tuna.
Well, on Broadway, that is a big celebrity.
I guess, but it is a very inside Broadway show. I was surprised at how much knowledge they had about Broadway culture, like enough that they could make that kind of a parody about it.
Is it about a parody about Broadway? Isn't it a parody about two old men?
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of theater references. Like a theater crowd would especially think it was funny.
Okay.
Yeah. They do a great job.
I don't know much about theater.
You don't?
No, I'm not a theater guy.
No?
No.
Why not? You live in New York. There's so much great theater.
I don't enjoy live plays. I went to a few in the last couple of years that were fun. Like I love Book of Mormon. I loved a few other ones, but I just don't enjoy a play.
Right.
Normally, I don't like it.
What else besides Book of Mormon did you like? Because Book of Mormon is an easy one to like.
I
can't imagine anybody not liking it.
I enjoyed Bob Saget's play.
What was that?
I forget what it was called, but he played he played the preacher, and there was the ventriloquist. Something with God. Hand to God.
Oh.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed Robin Williams did a play, I think, called Tiger. Something, a Bengal tiger in Baghdad or something. It was a really bizarre conceptual play where he played like a tiger, but I enjoyed that.
You just like plays with extremely funny people.
Well, I mean, if it's well done.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to enjoy. Oh, Chris Rock's play was great too. The Motherfucker in the Hat.
Oh yeah, I didn't see it.
I enjoyed that a lot.
I didn't see it, but
he was with Bobby Cannavale, and and he was actually good with Bobby. Like just to do a theater.
Bobby's not that great of an actor, though, is he?
No, I know he kind of is. He's very, very average.
Yeah.
But to see such a great New York actor, and then Chris actually looked like he belonged with him, so it was. It's
good.
Usually a guy like that good, if you're doing something with him, you look like pretty awful next to him.
Yeah, but it was Chris Rock just acting in it? He didn't write it or anything?
I don't know if he wrote it or not. I think it was his.
It was his show.
Yeah.
We were talking before the show started about poor Chris Christie and all the time he wasted. He wasted all this time just goofily standing behind Donald Trump. Because you remember when Donald Trump would give these speeches, Chris Christie was the first guy of the Republican candidates who lost to back Trump. He was the first guy to stand behind him in the speeches, to do the whole thing. Ben Carson picked up after that, and a couple of the other ones did. But Chris Christie was the first one, and he traveled with him, and he opened for him, and he did all of it. And obviously, it was because he wanted Donald Trump to win, and he wanted a position in the Donald Trump, Memphis Mafia cabinet. The
Vice president was the first possible thought. Everyone thought he was going to be the VP choice.
Right, and he wasn't even close, I don't think. I don't think that Trump ever seriously considered him for vice president.
You think it's always been this bridge problem? I hate to say Bridgegate.
No, I think that with Chris Christie, he's an outspoken guy. He is a politician, but he's a pretty outspoken guy. And I think from the beginning, Donald wouldn't bring in an outspoken guy as a vice president.
Yeah,
he wanted somebody, So I don't and plus, Chris Christie, he never really recovered from working with Obama during the hurricane. So, Republicans are so mad at him for it. So you need, Mike Pence is very, very conservative.
What did they want Chris Christie to do when there was a hurricane that hit New Jersey?
I agree with that.
What the fuck is wrong with the president coming in? What would you want, the Democratic people to refuse George Bush's help after Katrina? It's just stupid.
Yeah, the idea that there is no spot at all for the parties to come together. There is no context where people can work together is insane. It's ludicrous.
So they gave him the full boot because he was leading the transition team, and then he got knocked down to just being on it. And now I think, is he totally out?
He's out.
They gave him a bootski, huh?
Apparently Donald's not even, he's not even talking to him anymore.
I heard he didn't like that he was letting this lady take the fall for the Bridgegate, and that really annoyed Trump.
Isn't that great?
This crying mother.
After all this time, Bridgegate is still haunting that big oaf.
A few fucking traffic cones.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He gets pissed off. He tries to flex a little power. That's one of those things we were talking about before. That's a one-day decision. Yep. It's not like he goes, okay, in 2 weeks, I'm planning this big, elaborate traffic jam. We're finally going to get him back. He just goes, all right, shut down a couple lanes. Let's fuck with this guy a little bit.
And someone died. A woman died, I think, in an ambulance, which was, again, she may have died anyway, but
that's why you can't just shut down traffic for no reason. Yeah. But so he makes the decision to do it. And after all this time, that one moment, that one day that he decided to make that call.
That's right.
It's haunting him, and it has cost him a position in the White House.
Yeah, it really fucked him good.
It really did. And it's not like he's getting back to the White House anytime. He's not going to ever get elected president. Not by a long shot. And I don't see a context where he ends up, I guess maybe in many years if he's still alive.
How are they spinning it? What are they saying? We just decided, because they had just demoted him. They didn't kick him out.
Right. I haven't heard what Trump's people are actually saying. All I'm hearing is the articles that are reporting that Donald Trump's people do not like the way he's handled Bridgegate, do not like what Chris Christie did to that woman.
Yeah.
And they want nothing to do with him.
I think they know that this is I like to say in the political world, it's a ticking time bomb. And they're probably thinking that eventually this is going to blow up, and they don't want to be anywhere near it.
It's been ticking for a year.
Well, that's probably their thinking now, whereas they gave him a position, and they're thinking this is a ticking time bomb.
Have you ever worked on a campaign?
I haven't, but I've been consulted.
You have?
Yes, I have.
But you've been consulted?
Sure.
About what?
It's what to do.
Wouldn't you consult?
I meant I've been consulted. No, they've asked me. Both are correct.
Yes, I see. Let's go to...
Oh, he's right there. He's a fat fuck. That's what Trump said.
That fat fuck? No, you won't see him no more.
They probably had an argument over fast food on the private plane, or they had to throw luggage out when Chris Christie got on the plane to take off because he's fat.
Melania probably made Donald stop hanging out with Chris Christie. That's probably why his ass and thighs got so big. Because Chris was like, they say all this bad stuff about fast food. It doesn't do anything. It's really, and you see McDonald's is using real chicken now. It's really not bad for you.
You're starting to look like him. She said that to her husband.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
You have to get rid of him.
His big hips. Trump's hips are big.
They did. They've expanded quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
And I will make the prediction that Donald Trump will continue to get fatter while he's president.
Do you think that he had a nice meal at the 21 Club?
Oh, yeah,
he had low-fat grilled chicken? Or,
no, that wasn't what he
with
decided
fruit for
on.
dessert?
No, I don't think so. I think he had a nice big steak. He doesn't drink alcohol, so I think he had soft drinks with some refills. I think he had some Coca-Cola. And then for dessert, I think he had a nice big cheesecake or something like that with dripping fruit syrup.
Do you think he's been going to the gym like he should, or is he a little too busy?
Right now, he's a little bogged down. I think the gym is on the back burner. He's more focusing on business and politics. But he probably intends on getting back there. He knows he'll be able to get back there.
Do you like creamed spinach?
No.
It's fucking hideous.
No, I don't.
Creamed corn can suck a dick too. It's fucking terrible.
No. I don't like any of that stuff. I'll eat corn by itself, and that's it.
Me too. We're out of some shit.
I don't know why you would do that. Yeah, I'll have the corn. Do you have any planted and some feces?
Yeah. Y'all have a log of corn, please?
Yeah. I need a new knife and fork before my main course. There's some leftover shit in between the prongs. Kevin in New Jersey, welcome to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
What's up, boys?
Hi, Kev.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, why isn't anybody talking about, so apparently Kushner, who's Donald's son-in-law?
Yeah.
His father was jailed by Chris Christie.
Oh, I did hear that,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
So that's going to be a little awkward.
I'll bet you that was the part that might have went into it.
Oh, yeah. I'll bet that goes into it. And Donald's like, look, we want Chris Christie, because Chris Christie was good for him to have on the campaign. Mm-hmm. When he's running for president, he's like, look, all the politicians hate me. All the Republicans hate me. At least I have one guy who's a governor who says I support Trump. Like, let me keep him on board, knowing full well. But I don't like what you did.
Right.
I don't like what you did to my son-in-law's dad.
I also think it's this woman, though. I think that this is a big mess.
Well, I think that they were probably waiting, and when they saw this woman, they were like, "Yep, that's what we were looking for." Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's like when you want to fire somebody in business, right? And you just build a case and build a case and build a case. You don't do anything until finally there's one mistake, and you can just get them, and you're out the door. That's probably what they did to Chris Christie.
But when did they finally say, like, you can't even be on the team at all? Like, he was leading the team.
Right. And then, it was definitely a slow transition. They were like, you're still on the team. We're just picking a different leader, just somebody who's got a little more Washington experience. You have government experience, but we're picking somebody with a little Washington
and
experience.
we prefer someone who hasn't killed someone by putting traffic cones up. Someone who hasn't killed someone with traffic cones.
Also, the person we're deciding, quite a bit slimmer.
Yeah, a lot slimmer.
Quite a
looks
bit.
a lot better in the photos.
Yeah, quite a bit slimmer. And then Melania goes, and not such a bad influence on Donald. just a bad influence on his eating habits.
You think Melania hated it when she'd walk into the Situation Room and she'd smell that McDonald's fries smell?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Fattening up.
Chris Christie's just going, Melania, help yourself. No, Chris, I don't want any. You think Donald doesn't mind staying for dessert when he goes out for dinner? When he's at the 21 Club?
I strongly suspect he has a good dessert.
Oh, yeah, he does.
No, you know what they do? They probably get a bunch of different desserts and they just pick. Like, you have like 10 different desserts come to the table.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a little bit of everything. That's when you really fucking fatten up. Because you convince yourself you're only having 2 bites, but it's 2 bites of lemon cake, 2 bites of bread pudding, 2 bites of this. Next thing you know, you're shitting blood.
Is that how that works?
Yes, it is.
So you've effectively had 3.5 desserts while you've been sitting there.
Yeah.
Just eating bites of everything.
Yeah, it's always a big risk.
Plus, Donald takes his saliva bites. He's spitting all over all the desserts, so nobody. That's okay, Donald. You can have it. You can eat the whole thing.
I don't like forks going into where I'm going to eat other people's forks.
Me neither. I don't like sharing food at all.
No. With your wife?
I'll let her have a, but not like.
A bite. Who's going to say a bite? I'll let her have a bite.
That's what I will. Like, I'll be like, if you want to try it, take a piece off, but we're not going to be simultaneously eating this dish.
I don't like that either, and it's not a money thing. I'm like, I'll buy you one.
Yeah.
I'll tell a woman, like, she'll be like...
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but I get what you're saying.
If we're having a salad, she's like, oh, we just get a salad. I'm like, are you hungry? I'll get you... do you want a whole salad? I'll eat a... I try to get them just to get a duplicate copy.
Yeah.
I don't want to save the money. It's not a chiseler thing. I just don't want their dirty, mouth-smelling fork in my food.
I do that, too. I get bitchy so quick, too. She goes, like, Jess is like, are you getting fries? And I'm like, Jess, if you want fries, get fries.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't need you and your choices dictating what I order.
Yeah.
You want fries, get fries.
And by the way, I don't want to say, yeah, I'm getting fries. Then you think, okay, that's fries for the table.
No, it's not.
No, motherfucker, it's not.
Yeah. I'm not Tony Soprano. I didn't order for the table.
No.
This is a side of fries with my meal.
I'm getting fries. You'll have none.
Yeah.
And you can't do that, especially when you're married, you can. When you're on a date, you can't. I still date.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't give that look of keep your fucking hands off my food.
Yeah. When you get married, you're allowed to get a little bitchy, and you can say like, yeah, whatever you want, just get whatever you want, just order it.
Yeah, I'll get 2 of everything. I don't care.
Right.
Don't even take 2 bites and throw it on the floor. I don't care.
Right. Can I taste your soda? No, but you can order one. That's fine.
Oh, don't taste my soda. Like someone took a sip of a beverage one time, and there was like a lipstick stain on my glass. But I'm like, I don't care because that mouth was on my dick not much longer after.
Right, and yours on theirs.
No, she was a lady. Damn it.
Nerds!
For Pete's sake. But then you're drinking the water and you just see the lipstick. I turned it around.
I couldn't.
Because it reminded me of my mother when I was a kid. Like I used to hate when my mother would blow on my drink or my soup. Because then your mom's possible spittle is in your. You don't want your mom blowing. Like, don't put your fucking lung air on my food.
Yeah.
Yuck.
It's gross. Let me cool it down for you, little Jimmy.
With what? Your 92 degree fucking. What's the body temperature? 96?
98.6 degrees.
Oh, there you go. 92. Yeah, you're dead. There's a fucking dead person blowing on my food.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Travis and I grew up with that Winter Fresh commercial, so everybody knows exactly. It's 98.6 degrees inside your mouth. You never saw it?
Winter Fresh gum can fucking hit the bricks.
You don't like it?
No, nothing says a person has bad breath like when they always chew Winter Fresh gum.
Why do you say that?
Because they think it masks it, and it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No.
Oh.
It's a sickly sweet smell.
You think they need a stronger Altoid or something like that?
It's a weird thing. I hate wintergreen. Like, I'll take once in a while, I'll have a little piece of gum, but after a minute, I'm done with it. It's a terrible flavor. Stop with fucking wintergreen. I knew a girl one time, her breath was so fucking bad.
Right.
That, like, it stunk through the wintergreen.
Oh.
Do you know how bad your breath has to be to smell through wintergreen?
So you're just smelling stale wintergreen and bad breath?
It was awful.
Ugh.
It was awful.
Just bad breath masked with a layer of stale wintergreen?
Yeah. I felt like a coroner, but I had taken wintergreen and rubbed it under my nose. Like, you know how they rub Vicks Vapor Rub under their nose to get the smell of the body off their face?
And it never really takes the smell away.
Vicks might work, but wintergreen doesn't. So fuck wintergreen. Really bugs me.
You know why people chew like Winter Fresh and wintergreen gum? They want to have a little treat because it's a sweet treat. It's nice.
It is, but
like
I chew
it's
Orbit.
Tasty.
Orbit's a nice flavor, but it's understated. It's a mellow vibe.
That's like you though.
What?
Just having a mellow vibe.
Yeah, I like a nice piece of Orbit, but it's more the addiction because I quit smoking. I got to keep, after eating, I got to just keep fucking.
Oral fixation?
Yeah, man.
That's just, yeah.
That's good for any girl I date, though. I'm right in there.
I'll bet. Speaking of controversies, actually, let me put you on hold and talk to John in Miami. What's up, John? Hang on.
Hello?
Click it. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, wasn't Christie used on the campaign trail to help Donald look svelte against the crowd?
Oh, you think so? Donald realized he was gaining some weight in the hips, and he was like, let me get Chris Christie to stand behind
comparison.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if Chris Christie stands behind me, you're going to be able to see his hips behind mine. You know, he's wider than Donald is, which is a lot because
and I think
Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, all those guys are disappearing behind Donald. Ben Carson, you're not going to be able to see him behind Donald Trump.
What was a bad move that he had to wear the same color outfit? I bet he always told Christie to wear an opposite color outfit. They don't think I'm one big fat guy.
Hey, wear the bright red suit today.
Yeah, we're beige. I'm wearing dark gray.
Can you imagine Chris Christie showing up in one of those shitty beige suits?
I would love that. Or a shiny silver, like sharkskin suit.
Oh, yeah.
you remember the movie, was it Fat People with Dom DeLuise?
Fat People.
There's something.
I don't remember.
There's a great scene where they're talking about mixing these different foods together. He's trying to get off of eating.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can find that and play it, it sounds like something that
Fatso.
That Trump and Christie talking together, eating different foods. I think you should play it. It would be great.
I remember I remember when I was a kid. I think it was the movie channel, or it was one of those movie channels at home. But the Fatso was on.
Yeah,
we got HBO in like 1980. We got cable in like around 80, and I remember Dom DeLuise in Fatso. He remember these weird promos for movies.
Doesn't that seem terribly insensitive and somewhat triggering? Why would they call it that?
He was fat.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't. Yeah, no, okay, that does make sense actually when you put it into that context. Let me go to Shane in Indiana because speaking of controversies and people fighting, Chris Christie and Donald Trump is not the only controversy that is abound. What's going on, Shane?
Before we get to this missing chromosome mongoloid, Sammy,
Yeah.
have you not noticed that James Ellsworth looks just like Chippa?
There is a wrestler. Well, that's because he doesn't have a chin, and neither does Jim.
I do so. Chip doesn't. Yes, I do. I do.
Go on, Shane.
Go on, Shane.
All right. Now, to this fucking douchebag on the Bennington show, he's kind of talking pretty reckless about you guys, and especially the Tech Master.
Yeah, the Bennington intern that wants to challenge Travis in a male pattern baldness, shave the head, Seinfeld trivia contest is going on the air and talking shit about Travis as if Travis hasn't been here for as long as Travis has been here. He's going on and he's talking shit and he's acting like Travis is going to be very easy to beat. And he's really, honestly, he's not taking Travis seriously at all. And he's coming, to me, it's disrespectful. And he's coming across a bit like a horse's ass and is a guy who could probably use a humbling.
Exactly.
So basically, he's talking about a man who has become something of an institution
Yeah.
in
Yes.
this industry.
Yes.
And I say we up the stakes, and not only do we shave the head, but we throw the mothers in. That way, when Travis wipes the floor with this douchebag, he'll fuck whatever his name is, mother, like the piece of white trash she is.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, sir. I think you're really panicking. Now, here's the thing. Even if the guy knows more about Seinfeld than Travis,
Right.
who cares?
Right. How dare you open your mouth?
Yeah, he's really excited about this.
And say
Are you worried about him?
No.
You're not, are you?
No.
It shouldn't be a difficult challenge, I don't
It's
think.
okay. Fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if someone knew more about his show than me. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't do a wire off.
Right.
Who was that? Oh, you good. You knew that. I didn't.
Right.
Go fuck yourself.
Some people just have so little going on
Yeah.
that, like, they need to elevate themselves.
And he's a very odd-looking guy, isn't
I don't know
he?
if I've
know
ever
him.
seen him.
It's the guy who comes in here, he cakes his hair down with gel. He's very, very weird-looking.
How about this? Here's a little trivia contest. Who's had more back and forth fun with Anthony about Seinfeld? This intern who nobody knows,
Right.
Or fucking Teft in a box?
Teft in a box is the answer.
You bet he has.
It's 100%
How many
right.
times Anthony was started telling a story that I believed, and I hear dummy laughing in there? I'm like, oh no, I'm being.
Were you believing the story?
100%. I'm being had.
Did you ever miss one of Anthony Seinfeld references?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
No. The answer would be no. What is that?
Music from Seinfeld.
That's what the sound.
Yep.
Oh, I guess. But you know what? I'm not the one in the contest. Travis, you knew that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's
yeah,
what I
it sounded
thought.
exactly like the
Do
song.
you want to bounce around some Seinfeld trivia?
No.
I'll
just
try
to,
one.
Just to test Travis? Or?
Sure.
I think Jim should do it.
No, because I don't really know as much about the show. I don't think.
Uh-huh. Do you have any questions or anything?
Sure.
Because I'm pretty good at it, and I can probably tell whether Travis is right or wrong.
What team did George work for?
That's actually great. That's great. That's a solid question. Travis?
The Yankees.
I don't know if that's true.
Yes.
Oh, it is? Okay. All right. Yes, it is
Now, did they have an episode about A, ISIS, B, masturbation?
true. Okay, or...
Not yet.
Oh, just A or B?
Just there.
Yeah.
Okay, now, ISIS was generally formed in what year?
2014.
Well, look. I'd love to know. Yeah, if you could look up what year ISIS was formed.
Don't
in.
help them.
Yeah, I don't know for sure which answer is correct, but I'm going to guess B just because I don't think ISIS was around 20 years ago.
Okay, well, ISIS was formed in 1999. When did Seinfeld go off the air?
98.
Sometime around then.
Yeah, so
98.
so probably still
Okay, how about this one?
couldn't be ISIS. All right, that's probably
I'm going
right.
to stick
then.
with B, but it could be A.
Yeah, you're not 100%.
No.
There's a very famous episode
Oh,
where Elaine A dances,
right.
B frisbees her hat.
B sounds like more fun.
And we're just going with the A and B options as far as multiple choice goes.
C drove a car.
All right, well, then A and C.
Okay.
Hey, she did drive a car. Okay. Oh, trick question there. You knew.
Yeah, she's a terrible driver. She got Jerry sick.
Yes.
Who knew that? I didn't know that. I had no idea. How about this? Who was the famous George
Costanza.
that
Curious.
Costanza worked for, and was he played by Larry David?
Oh, George Papard.
That's it. Yes, correct. Travis, you're looking actually really good for this.
Show was taking a weird turn.
I got a really good one.
Okay, all right, ask the question.
Did Jerry once date a girl that had A, big hands, B, a giant cunt?
Okay. I haven't seen every episode, so I can't answer that.
That's actually one of the ones that the censors wouldn't let them do.
That's the lost episode, the George's big cunt girlfriend episode.
Oh, was George who dated her? Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know.
None of them were making it up.
I don't know. It sounds like you're going to be good, though.
I mean, if these are the levels of questions that we're going to be asked.
I am going to put a request into Bennington, based on how we've practiced, that please all questions need to be A-B multiple choice.
Just A-B, though.
Right. 2-option multiple choice.
Or A through L.
Okay, well, that seems a little bit sillier than just A or B. Do you think Travis can win?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know as much about it as he does, but I know he knows a lot. Does Travis know Seinfeld the way you know wrestling? I don't know.
Well, you know what? The last time there was a trivia contest and somebody from this camp went on there, I was challenged to wrestling trivia 3 times on the Bennington show when it was Ron and Fez. I mopped the floor with them. I won all 3 times, and I did it handedly. Handedly?
Handedly.
Which one is
Handily.
Handedly.
No.
Yeah.
I did it very well, is the thing. I did very good.
Handedly is
Handedly.
right.
Look at who's the smart one here.
Check
that's a
handily.
question.
Check handily. Handily.
Oh, could it be that we're all right? Wouldn't that be fun? No.
Yes, skillfully.
Oh, we're all right.
Dexterously.
Oh, how great.
dog.
Kevin.
Oh, dexterously. Oh, yuck.
Speaking of that, Kevin in Philadelphia has
Tire prints in the back. 2 front paws, still pulling him forward. Confused. Why is my stomach leaking out of my asshole? Easy.
Speaking of that dog, if
Sorry.
Travis loses the contest against the Bennington show, that piece of shit dog should be brutally raped and murdered on Facebook Live.
No, there's no need to do that. How about this? If Travis loses, let's keep it simple.
Yeah.
We put an M80 in Dexter's asshole.
That's fine. And then he doesn't necessarily die. He might. He might, but we'll light it and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Travis,
Because as the fizz was happening, the dog would just look up at Travis so frightened. Like, am I involved in this?
Yeah, why are you doing
You
this?
think there's a toy around?
Can we shake on that, Travis, and call that a gentleman's bet?
No, definitely not.
That's not a gentleman's bet.
Not even a gentleman's bet. No.
Oh.
No, it's my dog.
Well, it will be if you win.
I mean, now you're...
If not, it'll be stir fry.
Loser loses dog.
Loser blows up dog's asshole. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then if you win, you get to blow up the dog's asshole. But if the Bennington intern wins, he blows up the dog's asshole.
Sounds like lose to me.
Not
Do
really.
the dog and the cat like each other?
They love each other.
Oh, they're just playing?
Yeah.
How great would it be if the cat just bit out the dog's jugular one
Or
day?
scratch the guy out.
just bit his entire throat out of his neck.
Just uncontrollable blood just squirting out.
they were playing.
You can tell the cat's not mad, though, because its ears aren't back.
No, they love each other.
I would love if that tail puffed up and those ears went back out of nowhere.
They do this every day.
What do?
They just play.
If the cat
She
really
tries to eat. She tries to bite his neck, and he just tries to be an idiot.
If the cat bit your dog's throat out, would you get rid of the cat or just keep it because then you'd only have the one pet?
I'll probably keep it.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that.
look, it's so cute. He's licking the cat, and the cat's like petting his head.
You like that?
God damn it, that's a cute video.
Yeah.
Ah. Nothing a fire couldn't fix.
That's right.
Listen, it sounds just fine.
That's right. He'd be gripping onto his life. He'd be trying to take his last breaths while his throat bled out, and he would sound exactly the same. Just
Yeah,
You'd
it would,
never know
it
you're
would
sick.
probably be really quick. Yeah.
you never know.
No, I'd be like, oh, he's breathing. He's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a cute video.
He lives his life, that French bulldog. as if he's taking his last breaths every day. Like, that's just his life. When we take a breath, how it just comes across naturally? Imagine if every single one was a furious effort.
Like you have to think about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit much.
He's like, oh, better put this bone in my mouth before I go to sleep or I'll be dead. I'll just suffocate.
I've said that.
Oh, that would explain a lot.
Two different bones.
Yeah.
No, I mean like that.
So yeah, I'm excited. Do we know when the trivia contest is going to happen?
I have no idea.
I think we should do it before Thanksgiving, right? Maybe the Tuesday before?
In like 2 days? Or 3 days?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying listening to this guy run his mouth.
He's a fucking idiot, isn't he?
Yes.
He's a fucking loser. He really, he's a putz.
Who, the intern?
Yeah. He's just in there not realizing that he's way, way in over his head, regardless of what happens. And he's going to walk around with male pattern baldness, which is fun.
Yeah, I've never taken anything as seriously as he seems to take this.
No. Which is a shame for us, but still.
Yeah, exactly.
But he seems like one of those guys who has something to prove, but nobody's asking him to prove it.
Right. Like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares.
No one's interested in what he wants to prove.
No,
Right.
all right, cool. You do Seinfeld tours with your friends who probably don't want to be there. Cool.
You guys Seinfeld tours?
Yeah, that's what he said yesterday. He brings his friends around to, like, places in New York.
Was he from out of town?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't he live here?
Yeah.
So why the fuck is he doing that for?
Probably when his friends come in.
Yeah.
Like if they zip in from somewhere else, they'll probably go, hey, let's go.
No, this will be cool. You'll see the building.
That's boring. I wouldn't want to do that if my friend came to visit me.
Jerry wouldn't want to do that.
No. No. Let me show. Hey, remember the restaurant? Does that big neon sign look familiar? Yeah, I've seen 150,000 pictures of it. It's fine.
Elaine got Jerry car sick driving.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You like that?
Yeah, I should watch that show, man. Because when it was on, it's when I started doing stand-up in the 90s, so I was always out doing gigs. I just didn't. It was on Thursdays.
I'll tell you, it has its moments.
The ones I've seen were really great, but I mean, I just, I should actually commit to watching that.
Moderately successful.
I just don't like the music.
Boom, boom, boom,
That's the only thing I don't like. I mean, the one I saw, like and even the fucking Larry David, the Curb. I went to a Curb premiere once, and they showed 2 episodes, like the Palestinian chicken and the football with the Bill Buckner one. Baseball.
That chicken episode's so good.
The ability this guy has to create a great story. And,
yeah.
Oh my God, that's really hard to do, and he just does it effortlessly,
over and over
again. Yeah, he's so brilliant.
You'd be really lousy at the trivia contest.
With certain things.
With Seinfeld.
Yeah, with Seinfeld.
Yeah, it'd be terrible.
Sure, I haven't seen them. It's
It'd
not
be
fair.
terrible.
Sure. How about Jerry gets the Jim Norton trivia? Exactly.
That's There is something to this, Travis, though. They are taking it seriously enough that it is as if you're fighting for the honor of this show.
He's so loud.
I know he is. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he is back there. Just give me a vomit sound.
Throwing up.
Right soundboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want a vomit sound every time he walks in.
I am much more confident that Travis is representing us on another show than, like, Sick Baby.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, if Sick Baby was the representative, I'd be like, we're up Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Like,
they would just show him different colors and he'd throw up on the table.
yeah.
Light sensitive.
If I found out Sick Baby was fighting for us, I'd already be saying, guys, just remember, we're a new show.
Yeah.
Bennington has been around for a while. We're just kind of starting to see what works for us. Travis, I feel like he could win against the fucking weirdo intern.
I'm sure I could.
I think so.
I wouldn't even care if Travis lost.
You wouldn't?
No.
I wouldn't care either.
You just laugh at him for having a bad haircut?
Yeah. Oh, wait, what's the contest?
I mean, it's practically like that anyway.
What does the loser get?
Well, that's how stupid this intern is. He agreed to a bet where the intern has a full head of hair. The loser of the bet has to shave male pattern baldness into their head.
Cares? It grows back.
Plus, Travis is already like halfway there.
Travis, he's got hair like Charlie Brown. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like
doesn't matter.
That's I told Travis. I was like, "You want to do this contest?" And he's like, "I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I guess. But what does he want to do?" And I go, "He wants to do male pattern baldness." And Travis was like, "I already had that." And I was like, "So it's easy." And he goes, "Yeah, I'll do that. Who cares?
Sure.
What difference does it make?"
If I lose, I lose. If he loses, I think it'll ruin his life.
Right, which is motivation.
Because I don't think he's got anything going on.
What's he look like? I don't even know. Does he have a full head of hair?
Oh yeah. He's got a full head of hair. And really, it seems like Seinfeld trivia is the only thing he takes pride in. So he's got a lot to lose. So sad. His beauty and his pride. Both on the line.
Yes.
Whereas Travis, a lot of people don't know this, is a broken person.
Yes,
And
I have neither of those things.
he doesn't have that stuff. Like, there is nothing that you could put on the line. Like, he would just be like, you know what? I'll probably just come in and do my job and then go home. Like, that's Travis in a nutshell.
I like Seinfeld and I make references.
That's it.
Yep.
You like to go home and escape this nonsense by putting on your favorite television program.
Yep.
It's a leisurely activity that gives you amusement. It's not a source of pride.
But I'll tell you this, the fact that Travis is a broken man is going to work in his benefit, because this guy who has like pride and hair and all this stuff, he doesn't have to go into this world of escapism with the frequency that Travis does. Travis needs to every single day either have some video games or some Seinfeld or something that takes him out of this misery.
See, I don't know. See, Travis has a fuller life. Travis has a wife and a kid.
Yeah, but he's got that
and a
shitty dog.
Understandable. I mean, but he likes it. And that cat. I mean, obviously I don't care for either one of them, but he cares for both. So he has other things. Seinfeld's a fun source of entertainment.
But he needs the escape. Everybody needs an escape.
But the other guy looks at it as a part of his self. He wraps his own identity in it because he brings people in to watch. Oh, look at the Seinfeld. Look, this is where Jerry dropped the wrapper or whatever it is that happened.
Yeah.
Like Travis doesn't wrap his identity up in that. This guy is a source of pride for him. Like he tries to engage people in Seinfeld things so people can go, ooh, you know the show.
Right. But do you think anybody's ever done that?
No, they're probably like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We need to stop hanging out. Oh, cool. That's an interesting tidbit. I'm not going to come back here.
Let's have a mash off.
You want to do a mash off?
Yeah.
You think you'd be good in mash trivia?
I don't know.
I'd be terrible in mash trivia.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't watch that show. It's old.
It is.
I don't have time for it. I'm
When were you
excited,
born?
though. 83.
How about you, Sarah, Travis?
81.
So you were 2 years old when MASH ended.
This is my dad's favorite show.
Yeah?
Yeah. Go ahead. Think of something.
What? I'm not going to say.
That helicopter flying away.
MASH, mommy always sounded Hebrew. Yeah, MASH is a weird one. Like, it was one of those shows because it was always on when there was rain delays.
Yeah.
Like for the Yankees or whatever, or the Mets. You said the MASH is what they would just kind of put on. So and there was 3 channels. It was fucking always on television, and there weren't many places to go. So you just kind of grew up watching like that and whatever else might be on.
Yeah. I watched wrestling in different strokes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Let's go to
I
Chris.
enjoyed both. Wrestling in different strokes.
Yeah. Let's go to Chris the teacher. What's up, Chris?
Morning, guys.
Hello.
Jimmy, that curb, that Bill.
Oh, boy,
Your
Chris.
phone dropped out, Chris.
Your phone is dropping out.
Oh no! Oh shit!
You're in. We got you.
Am I gonna get made fun of? Oh god, I'm gonna make fun of.
We're right
No,
here.
your phone was dropping out.
That curb episode, Bobby Kelly was in it that you were talking about, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's right. What did Bobby do in that? He's a fan, right?
He goes, fuck you, Buckner, like right on the street.
Oh, right.
So what else is going on?
Fuck.
No, he's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
I forgot Bobby was in that.
He hung up. Chris got scared and hung
Why?
up. Because it wasn't like a big reaction. It was just like an acknowledgement. Like, yeah, I remember that.
Well, he was correct. Yeah, I had forgotten Bob was in that.
But he was really hoping that it would start a conversation and
Well,
that he'd
that's not
be
where
a
to
part
go
of
with
this
it.
thing. It wasn't anywhere.
Is Bobby in the hospital? I saw it like, on Instagram or something. Or he was very sick. Yeah, he was puking. What's wrong with him?
He said round 4. I don't know what that meant. I saw it on Instagram.
It looked like a doctor's office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I assumed it was just a doctor's office.
I think he said he's fine.
Yeah. I thought I saw that. I thought it was a dentist.
He said,
Good heading into week 4.
yeah, he said heading into week 4. So I don't know.
I thought that was a dentist's office.
I don't know what that means. I guess it could be, but it looks like scrubs, not one of those napkin things. By the way,
On this screen it does, but when you just look on a little phone.
greatest news ever yesterday. I get a text after the show. My dentist's mother, very ill. Fell very, very sick. I was so happy. Cancel the appointment.
Oh, no.
I didn't have to get my fake cavities drilled yesterday. It was perfect. Perfect. Speaking of happy people, Corey Feldman.
Yes, engaged.
He is engaged. Corey Feldman, after all these crazy years, has finally found love. He wants to marry one of his angels. It says, while so many people are set on moving to Canada after the election crashed its immigration website, Corey Feldman's better half was concerned about being deported. The star of the 80s star popped the question to his main angel, Courtney Ann, after 4 years, telling people she's Canadian, and with Trump coming in, we didn't want to risk being separated by new immigration laws.
She's hot.
Yeah, she's hot, but Corey Feldman is announcing to the newspaper, hey, we're in love. Also, we're doing it for the green card.
Yeah, but you're allowed to. If you
What?
No, you're not.
No. Meaning, if you're dating someone 4 years and you're like, look, I love this girl. I'm afraid my girlfriend's going to be asked to leave. Then what the fuck are they going to do? You can't do it like, I have no relationship with this person, so they're coming over and she already lives here.
I think that the strategy would be to just say the first part. Why would you say the second part?
Maybe it was a little too much, but
if you just say
no problem at all.
If you just say the first part, we're in love, then you can get married. But if you say the second part, we're in love, and we weren't going to get married, but we got to have the green card.
Yeah, we don't trust Trump. It doesn't matter. He's not under oath saying this. He's fine. I guarantee he's fine saying this.
Travis, you married an international woman. I did.
That's right, for that reason. What are they going to do? Throw her out? You got a kid and a dog? Oh, it'd be so funny if they made her go, or they let her stay and they threw the animals out.
Oh, yeah. We got to deport somebody.
She can stay, the kid can stay, but the fucking animals got to go to Montreal.
That'd be horrible for both of us.
Do you think that Corey made a mistake here?
Yeah, it's a stupid thing to say.
It is.
Did you get married originally? Was it so she could? I mean, you were in love, but did you go? She was like, I want to be able to see you all the time, or was that part of it?
Well, I mean, it was a decision that, well, yeah, we're going to get married, and I'm not going to live up there.
Right.
Because my life is here, my career is
It's
here.
fucking Canada, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You already got, you're allowed in America. Why would you move to Canada?
So when the decision, was made about where we were going to live, then...
Oh, yeah. How long were you together before you decided?
A year and a half.
And are you now a Canadian citizen?
No, that's not how it works.
It doesn't work that way?
No.
But she's dual.
You don't get...
She's not dual. No, you have to take the citizenship test. She's just a legal alien.
You don't get samesies if you get married?
No.
Oh,
so wait
sucks.
a minute. How long does she... You've been married for a long time.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
So what does she have to do? Why doesn't she do it, or it doesn't matter?
Because there's so little benefit to it.
Oh, she's a legal alien.
Yeah.
Oh, because you have the kid too. So, oh yeah, they're not going to throw her out.
Well, no,
if you
because
go.
she got
She's
a green
married.
card.
Yeah, she
But
got
I
a
mean,
green
like,
card.
if you guys got divorced, they wouldn't ask her to leave
No, she would be allowed to stay.
because of her daughter.
Yeah,
Okay.
because now she's a legal resident who has been here that long. First, you get your 2-year card,
Right.
and then you have to apply for your 10-year card. And once you get your 10-year card, it's just renewing it every 10 years.
How-
you don't have to go back for interviews. You don't have to do anything.
Okay. How long is it? How hard is it to get a visa just to come visit the U.S.? It's not that hard.
We've already been over this, haven't we?
I don't know. I'm just
No, you're
talking
allowed,
about
you're allowed to visit and stay for 3 months, but then you have to return.
to your home country.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still trying to get the same friend here?
No.
Different friend?
Just asking for another buddy. No, I'm actually curious because people always say how hard it is to come here.
Yeah.
Compared to other places, it's just like, I have to go here or there for work.
But did you see how carefully Travis said what he said? He was like, yeah, well, when we were getting married, we had to figure out where to live, and I already lived here. He's not saying...
It wasn't like she had nowhere to go, so I was like, okay, come, let's get married.
And I'm assuming if Travis had been like, well, yeah, I mean, we're in a relationship and we love each other, plus I don't want her to get deported, they'd be like, you can't do that.
You can say this, you can.
No, when you go to your interview, you can't say, well, we also,
It's mainly because, Trump, he might deport her, so we're going to lock this down now.
Yeah, technically they'll have no issue.
No, only because you've been together for 4 years. You've already proven that you're...
Yeah, you just have to establish that it's a legitimate relationship.
She's probably here on a 10-year card.
No, then... Well, maybe because if she's worried about getting deported, then she's got nothing to worry about.
Maybe they're just talking shit because of this whole... People get caught up in the whole
I
election
think Corey
thing.
Feldman's just being an idiot.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think that they're knocking on the door of a judge and saying, like, yeah, we heard there was a loophole for immigration.
He's like,
we'd like
you know what's in the news? Immigration.
Yeah,
Let me get myself back in there.
I'd like to be a part of that. He also wants to get one of his angels to get a little press for her. The last time one of Corey's angels was in the news, it was the woman leaving the voicemail on his phone. Or him leaving the voicemail on the woman's phone, saying, you gotta be fucking kidding me, you don't want to be an angel anymore. He was pissed. He was pissed.
He was not happy.
No.
He's probably like, look, you could have been married.
I love that Corey Feldman is having a resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, look, he seems like a good enough egg. He's not a terrible, bad guy. He's not a nasty guy.
No, he gets mocked a lot, though.
He does, because he does cheesy things. It's like... it's like dressing like Michael Jackson. How do you not see that looks a little cheesy?
It's cool.
I don't even mind the song. It's not the song I have the issue with. The song is not the problem. It was the performance of it I thought was bad. But the song is okay.
You're talking about the second song?
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's like I wouldn't have registered it as something for me to make fun of. I would have been like, all right, it's just a song.
Yeah, let me find the song, because I think that's way off.
Yeah, but you also don't like Rick Ashley's new song, and Adrian and I both think you're a queer.
And what was Kevin's favorite song?
Ascension Millennium?
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah, you like Ascension Millennium, where he's in his house? Ascension Millennium.
I'll be honest, I feel the follow-up hit is better.
You do?
I do.
You think Corey was happy to hear Ascension Millennium playing for him at Kevin Undergaro's birthday party?
Maybe.
He didn't sing along.
Well, he's probably embarrassed. I mean, I wouldn't tell my jokes along with people.
You wouldn't?
No.
That
looks like Hitler on your shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Travis's shirt looks like Hitler.
People said the same thing to him yesterday when he was wearing his Walt Disney shirt.
You think all my shirts look like Hitler?
No, most people do.
They do that. That's Hitler hair. And you know what it is? Because there's a mouth on your shirt, but it looks like a little mustache over lips. The top, they're showing a choking victim. And
it's a thing that's in like every restaurant.
Yeah, but it looks like Hitler.
It does look like Hitler with the mustache.
It looks a lot like Hitler.
It's just an open mouth.
No, it looks like a mustache.
Yeah, he's opening it to yell Jews.
Yeah,
hold on.
The eyebrows are Hitler eyebrows for sure.
Can you take a picture of fucking anti-Semite Travis?
Yeah, we'll post that up all over social media. Jim and Sam Show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and also we podcast.
Social media is blowing up. I saw one of our videos had a fucking 200 views.
It's like we have very successful videos.
We are fucking trucking.
You're focusing on the negative. Play Take a Stand. You cannot sit there and tell me that the lyrics to the Corey Feldman hit Take a Stand are not make fun ofable.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying the videos were like when his performance of it in that silly shiny thing, throwing that hat off, looking like Michael Jackson hair. Like, what are you doing? You can love Michael Jackson, but that's not a cool look for a guy to emulate.
You're right. It is not. No, it is not.
He pulls off the dance moves, though.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
I mean, this is... I said it before when we first played it. This is...
Piano.
Aldous Snow's African Child.
See the turnaround, the Michael Jackson legs. Terrible.
But then...
Look, the hand. He's doing the clap hands thing. What is that?
Horrible. But then listen to the lyrics.
Stepping out the window, caught inside a dream. Ignorance is blissful, feeling quite serene.
Come on!
Look, it's not.
It might be the worst written song that's ever been done.
No.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot better, but I've heard a lot worse. This, I'm just saying this itself as an audio track.
Now, love somehow.
Yeah, this just sounds like one of those... It sounds like the inspirational song at the end of every high school, like where the students in the bad area fucking learn to do math, and they win the math off.
Yeah, because Michelle Pfeiffer was giving them candy bars.
Yeah, or Tom Berenger, or whoever it is that played the fucking teacher. Yeah. Here's an M&M. You've been convicted of rape 4 times. Here's an M&M. Do long division.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You've murdered somebody. Yeah, but she took us to an amusement park.
Yeah, boy, white people love those fucking... That's Hollywood.
Because they
love
heroes.
The fucking white hero zips into the fucking darker neighborhood and rescues everyone and is recognized as a hero.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Because it's her fantasy.
Ugh.
Yeah. I'm not racist.
People.
I want to save them.
Yeah. I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'll swoop down and help you.
Condescending dick.
Yeah. How about you put a black teacher in there? I didn't mind Samuel. I didn't mind Coach Carter.
Right. There's his hood.
Fucking drippy crackers.
Oh, he's getting rid of that shiny jacket, too.
It's
right
the attitude.
now.
We need peace, and he holds up the peace sign. You don't have to be so literal.
It's so literal, but the lyrics are so literal. Like, this is not one of those motivational songs. This is like a 12-year-old heard one of those motivational songs and wrote their
coming
own.
out looking like Michael in the white shirt. That's awful.
The Angels are good singers, though.
They're fine.
They're terrible, Jim. They're not fine.
His outfit. Here's what people don't like about Corey Feldman.
What?
Why they mock him.
Because he's awful?
No, his lack of self-awareness.
Yes.
It's weird. It's not that somebody writes something that isn't good But nothing will make people hate your guts more than a lack of self-awareness. It's weird, man. Like, he doesn't understand how he looks. And that's the problem. It's not like people are like, wow, your song stinks. It's not about that. It's about you don't understand how bad you look right now. You don't see yourself like everyone else sees you.
Because you know that you could have a conversation with that guy, and you could explain to him exactly what's going on in the most polite terms, not insulting him, and none of it would sink in.
None of it would sink in. He'd still act like he's a victim of it. What do you mean? I know, like
when he's tweeting and talking about all the bullies, all the online bullies that are attacking him because the first song stunk, so he thinks going back on the Today Show and doing a second song is going to be the cure-all.
Yeah, and he's blaming the fact that, like, people are haters instead of saying, like, look, we just don't like the song. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's his lack of self-awareness that make people hate him so much as opposed to the thing. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, with the outfit and stuff, it's like, how do you not know that looks bad?
Especially when it's so clear to everybody else, and everybody's telling him, and it's everywhere.
No, you know what
but
the
it's
problem
everybody
is?
else's problem, not Corey's. Everybody else.
The only people that tell him are strangers. That's the problem sometimes, is like people who in his life are not telling him. And it's hard to tell people things. You know, it really is hard if you like somebody or if you know them. But no one is going up to him and going, like, look, this is not good.
Because he only keeps the angels around him. He's not keeping real people around him.
Right.
He's got angels on his side.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Good tune.
No, it's not a good tune.
Yes, it is.
I got angels on my side.
This is so bad. This is like...
Travis knows. He knows. He's laughing. He gets it.
This is like early 90s Euro pop.
You know what? Maybe, but it doesn't mean it was bad. Leave my thumbs are up.
I see
I'm
your
doing the thumbs up walk.
This is not a good song.
It is a good song. You're not a good person.
Rick Astley did not... Yes, I am. And Rick Astley did not have a follow-up hit. Guess what? No matter how angry it gets him, people are still Rick-rolling. They're not angeling.
He didn't care. He was a fun guy. I liked him a lot.
Although, my favorite part of interviewing Rick Astley was all the fans that were tweeting us videos after that were making their own Rickroll videos, but they were ending with the hook to angels on his side.
It's funny. Travis, this is a good song.
I do like this song.
It's not a
it's
good
catchy,
song.
but this is the only time I ever listen to it.
I know, I forget that it's around. I'm going to download it on the old new 7 Plus.
Hey.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh, shit.
Can you get it with Apple Music?
I wouldn't know. I don't fuck with Apple Music.
Why not?
Stop getting in my life, Apple. Fucking buzz off. That's what I would say. I remember when I was a kid and I found buzz off. I was like 12 or 13. I thought that was such a cool thing to say. I remember getting so mad at my mother. And I was like, buzz off!
Oh, you thought you were just so much edge
It was
there.
my mother's birthday yesterday.
It was?
Yes.
What'd you do for her? Did you call her?
I'm going to call her today. I fucked up.
What do you mean you're going to...
I'll tell you why. Because I ordered her something.
What?
I ordered her something.
Can you call it? Okay.
I should have called her yesterday, but I ordered something that's coming today, so I'm going to call her today. I told my sister I'm going to call her today. But the thing I wanted to order, I tried to get sent yesterday.
It doesn't matter,
You're
the
right.
thing.
You're right. I should have called her.
You should call her.
I will. I'll call her today.
She doesn't need to hear from you today.
Yeah, she does. She'll be happy to hear from me.
Call her yesterday and be like, oh, and there still might be something coming in the mail for you.
Yeah, I know.
But she doesn't give a fuck what you buy her. She doesn't care what's coming in the mail.
I know, but I just wanted to have a definitive, hey, it's coming today. I don't know.
I hope she tells you to buzz off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Buzz off, Jimmy. My birthday was yesterday.
That's all right. I know who I'll talk to.
Yeah, at least if you make a phone call.
I'll tell you one phone call that Travis never stresses about.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He wouldn't know which there's 7 possible numbers. He doesn't know which ones they are, though.
I'm going to give Travis a
Save
hug.
my minutes.
Yeah. Let me tell you
Doesn't
something.
that make you want to hug Travis from the back? Arms around his chest,
The
whispering angels on my side in his little ear.
The fact that he doesn't even know what area code to start with.
Or country code. Is this 11?
That's true. Do I put a +1 or I don't
I
know.
gotta call my mom. I'll call her today.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing that you didn't call her.
No, I want to see her.
You can
I'll
see her-
Thanksgiving, I'll probably see my family.
Like, I went out, my mom's birthday was last week. On Saturday, we all went out to dinner, the family.
You're closer to your family than I love my family.
But I called her on her birthday still, knowing, I mean, thank God Jess texted me and said it's your mom's birthday.
Trust me,
but
my dad and my sister texted me.
so you knew.
I did. I think my sister's is in. I know it's in April. My dad's. I remember because it's 10 days after me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very bad with dates. Like I don't remember people's birthdays, anniversaries ever.
Do you know my birthday?
No, but I can't wait till your death day. That one I'll remember.
Just looking for a death joke.
I couldn't. Well, it's the only one that
Just crammed it in.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a death day. I was just make an alarm, celebrate every year. What are you looking at?
John in Pennsylvania.
Hey guys. Hey, I was just going to say that Corey Feldman is like America's David Brent, the douchiness, and you compare it to like Equality Street and stuff like that.
You know what? The songs that David Brent does are not dissimilar from the songs that Corey Feldman does.
The Gypsy song is actually better. It's the video. It's the little
Can
things.
I tell you something? Let me tell you something about Kevin Undergaro. How he loves Ascension Millennium. He also loves that Gypsy song, but like as a real song. Like he's like, that's a fucking great song.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he loves it. Jeff in Maryland. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. No one's talking about all the kids leaving school whenever they want to, walking the freeways, tying up traffic.
You mean the protesters?
Yeah.
You know, it was so funny because now a lot of the schools are protesting Donald Trump. And I was watching O'Reilly last night. After I got home from wrestling, I went to wrestling and then I went home and watched Bill O'Reilly. And I was watching him and he had like a student journalist from Notre Dame or some college that was protesting it and stuff. And Bill O'Reilly was like a salivating wolf. He was so happy to have this kid on that could obviously, he's a fucking college kid against a professional debater guy like Bill O'Reilly. And O'Reilly just fucking hammered this kid with joy. Hammered him.
Well, the thing is, a lot of times the protesters don't know exactly what it is. And I've said this before, a lot of them, they've never really lost before. Like to them, they grew up, well, how old are they? Say a lot of them are 21. So they're 13 when Obama gets elected. Mm-hmm. Hey, the good guy. They start paying more attention to politics. He gets reelected. He wins. And then this Trump, a lot of people can't believe Trump won. And if you're a millennial and you think he's this terrible racist, and you can't comprehend this guy winning. That would have been like David Duke winning when I was like growing up. Like that, the shock.
That bad?
The shock of it. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God, the guy was...
Do you remember all the riots that they had when Obama was elected?
No, but again, dude, the difference is...
Because it never happened.
Well, I know, sir. I'm hearing you. But I'm saying the difference is that a lot of the people protesting Trump are younger, and a lot of the people who were mad about Obama were older, and older people handle things differently, and they handle things better. I'm not making an excuse, but I'm just saying that's why it is what it is.
Obama is not the shock to the system that Donald Trump is.
Yeah, dude, he really isn't. I mean, he was more liberal than people want, first black president. But Trump, dude, you have to realize Obama didn't alienate his own party. Trump alienated his own party for most of it.
Yeah. Also, the media convinced everybody that Trump is a racist, sexist, misogynist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that's all the young people that are in college, they've been trained that that's the most evil thing ever, and the minute you hear that accusation, you need to fucking find yourself a safe space and duck and cover. But instead of hiding from the atomic bomb.
Right.
And students used to be taught to duck and cover under a desk. Now they're taught when there's a nasty word, find a safe space and you'll be okay.
Trump brought a lot of this on himself by saying stupid shit. He is the one who made that statement about Muslims not coming in. And I know he's kind of amended it, but it's like a bunch of young people, like to them, that's everything. He said that. Mm-hmm. They're not making that up. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he's going to do that, but he should amend these statements and talk to these people, and eventually it will stop. He's going to have to deal with it, and it's not a matter of winning and losing. You've already won the office, so he should start talking to them and going, look, I am your president. This is what we're going to do. Begin talking in a presidential way. That will help, and I'll tell you what else will help after the Electoral College votes in December. Once it's cemented, this will all end come December or after the inauguration.
Yeah.
This is a temporary thing, dude. But it is what it is. It's not that crazy. I don't have a problem with it. People don't like it. It ties up traffic. But look, in America, when you don't like something, you go out, you protest it.
Dan in Detroit.
Hey guys, good morning.
Hi, Dan.
Sam, you're absolutely wrong about Rick Astley not having a follow-up hit. Together Forever. What are you?
No. He meant after Angels on My Side. Oh no, did you not mean that?
None of them are follow-up hits.
No, you're wrong. That was a huge song.
He absolutely did.
Together Forever is a massive song.
It sounds exactly the same.
It's the same as Never Gonna Give You Up, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
It's got a 26 million views.
That's not how you would say that.
Yeah, you say it to be hip and young.
Jason Ellis is outside.
So we take a break, right?
Yeah, we're going to take a break ski. We're going to have Jason Ellis come in. Then we're going to have Laura Jane Grace from Against Me.
Against Me, who is, I guess transitioned into a woman
Yes.
like in the career.
In the middle of the career, yeah. And I mean, and
3 years ago.
3 years ago. And by the way, people are going to think that this was I'm happy to interview Laura. But let's be on who pushed this booking.
Fucking D-Bag, who's been talking about this shit. D-Bag's been talking about this shit to me since I was on at nights every single fucking day of my life. I'm so sick. By the way, after this one, I'm sure the interview's going to go well. I'm excited to talk to her. D-Bag's banned from booking guests after this.
Well, we'll see if it goes well. If it goes well, then maybe we'll allow him to book more guests.
It will.
We'll see.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
I'm very excited for her to come.
You are?
It'll be good.
I've been a fan of her band for 20 years.
Was it weird when she transitioned for you?
No.
Okay.
She transitioned, like she stopped transitioning halfway through and then restarted.
Yeah.
Like she's had a lot of psychological shit go on.
No, because she hasn't altered her voice or anything. Like the records sound the same.
Okay.
You know.
So we'll get Jason Allison here, Laura Jane Grace, and then also the Oh Hello Boys, John Mulaney and Nick Kroll.
John and Nick, they're both such fucking brilliant stand-ups.
They really are
funny
great.
guys, man.
They really are
really
great.
funny.
Busy show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Should have come back with Rick Astley, but whatever.
I chose Against Me instead.
Yeah. I've heard Rick Astley enough. Jason Ellis is here.
Yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, just hanging out in Times Square and getting Starbucks and room service, watching every movie they've ever made that's available on the movie thing in a hotel room. And
that's what you do.
Going to fucking transgender dance club. I went the other night. It was pretty intense.
Was it good?
You should have got... Fuck, man. I should have fucking... You would have loved it. We would have killed Jimmy. I was killing, and to the point where they were having a transgender war over me.
They were?
Yeah, because as soon as I'm a friend with Foxy, she's like a transgender porn star, but
Okay.
she's a real friend of mine, has been for several years now, and she hit me up. She's like, "You're in New York?" I'm like, yeah. She's like, "Come to my stripper thing," and I'm like, okay, and I saw the flyer on Instagram, and it looked like it was a strip club where transgender girls were going to be performing. So I was like, cool, I got nothing to do. And it was a sweet time slot, 5 to 9
p.m.?
Yes, which is...
That's usually a much later activity.
Right, I can't hang. I mean, I'm a morning guy, so
Sure.
I was like, if it's 2 and fuck off if you're late at night.
But you're done at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
perfect.
this is my zone. So I went with her, and I go in there, and it's really tiny. Like really tiny, and there's not even like a stripper pole. It's just a room with a DJ booth, a bar, and one whole side of curtains for private dances. And there's probably about 8 transgender girls and about 10 dudes. And that's about as far as it went.
That's the whole party.
And as soon as I walked in, this one, and they're all pretty hot, man. Like there's a couple that maybe were not that hot, but I would say most of them, there's no way you'd even know.
What was the
They were
purpose
that
of the party? Was it to sell drinks? Were they charging admission? Was it just an event?
What a cute, naive question that was.
Right? I'm so glad somebody... It's funny because I walked in thinking the same thing for a second, and then they're like, "Oh, you give lap dance? You want a lap dance?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I want a lap dance," because I told my chick I was going there, and she gave me the approval to do whatever I want. So
that's great news.
I was like, "Yeah, full hall pass. Here we go." And the first girl that comes up, she talks to my friend Foxy, Spanish, because they're both Spanish, and they're talking to each other. I'm like, "What'd she say?" She's like, "She asked if you were my husband," and I was like, "No." And she was like, "Well, let me get at him." And she gave him, so she's all over me. Like, "You dance?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a dance." Next thing you know, she's fucking trying to bang me in there.
Really?
Oh, that's against club regulations. I hope you spoke to the manager.
Yeah, after I fucked her. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I would be scared to in any club. Have sex with anybody.
You wouldn't? Have you ever done that?
Nah.
With a rubber on, it's fine.
I mean, just the idea of being...
For Jim, rubbers aren't an option, though.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
never fuck with a
Really?
rubber on.
I mean, if I have to, I mean...
Wait, okay.
I don't usually fuck.
Okay.
I don't usually fuck. So
But if you did, you would put a rubber on, right?
Probably,
right.
yeah.
You get this insane.
Yeah. But no, I wouldn't do it in a club.
Are you a hand job guy?
Yeah, I just jerk off. I'm easy. I'm old school.
No, I would prefer that too, but I sort of, I don't know. You get me hard. I sort of, I had a hall pass. You're into it. And
I got to do something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I hung out with a Russian one that was really pretty. Or sorry, Czech Republican one, whatever.
Czech Republic.
Yeah. And she was obviously doing a lot of cocaine before she came over to me. And I'm still pretty newly sober. Not when it comes to cocaine, that's been a long time, but I definitely don't want to be around it. And she was snorting, like, the drip. She was dripping the whole time while she was talking to me, and it was making me super anxious. I was like, man, I don't even want your... I could smell the coke on her face.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to be around it?
No, and so I didn't want a dance with her, and she got really weird about it, because she was... At first, she comes over and she's like, you kill people, yes? I'm like, what? It's like, you kill people, you tattoo, you kill. And I'm like, I fucking love hard. No, I don't kill anybody. What the... And if I did, why the fuck are you into it?
Yeah.
Weird-ass gangster bitch. Like, because she was obviously...
Because she thought that the black heart on your face was like one of those murder teardrops.
She just thought that maybe I was like a drug dealer or somebody really dangerous and was into it, because I'm pretty sure she had a pimp that was watching the whole time who was trying to, like, pimp this transgender lady out so that she would fuck me and take a bunch of money and give him a cut of it or something.
Right.
That's what I thought.
I don't think that anybody who has those tattoos killed anybody anymore. Like, don't the people with black teardrop tattoos, don't they just want to look like Lil Wayne or something? Like,
I don't fucking know. I just like tattoos. I don't kill. What the fuck?
You know what that means, right?
I just like pictures, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's taking me too serious.
I want to get a tattoo.
What kind of tattoo?
I don't know.
I know a guy that'll do a good job, so you won't have to get a shit one, because usually when you start the game, you've got to get a shit one first, so like you don't know anybody, you know what I mean? So you put your foot in and you get fucked over. But if you go through me, I'd be like, this guy, you know what I mean?
Where do you want to get it done?
I don't know. I should get something.
Yeah, but what would be the theme of it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What about a picture of you with your favorite celebrity? Because I know you like pictures with celebrities.
I don't know if I could have that on my arm.
No, but it'd be
Maybe
great,
on
like
my back.
on your back. Just
Yeah,
you
like
and
Steve-O.
You and Ozzy together.
Make it more Aussie, but still you're there. Like,
Yeah, maybe actually make it something really dramatic, like Ozzy with his hair blowing and he's carrying me on a beach.
Yeah. Or make you like a baby, but it's your head and it's Ozzy like he's your father.
You wait till the one day when like you're way too comfortable and you're like, Ozzy, I wasn't going to show you this, but you're going to like this. Check out what's on my back.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, don't show him. Just get it. You don't want to freak the poor guy out.
It's for you. It's just for you. It's something that you did for yourself. You don't really want a tattoo.
No.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against them. I'm just too indecisive.
Right.
I'm not. I would. At my age, I'm 48. It would look silly for me to get one at this age because I've never had them.
You look so much better, man. I went down a wormhole looking at you on YouTube. You were fucking fat for a
Thank you.
while.
I was. Yeah, I was. I showed
really look way better.
Thank you, buddy. I feel better. You know, I showed someone a photo. You don't realize how bad it is until like you look at old. Oh my
you had like
God.
a fucking crazy fat neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was truly terrible.
Looked like you just had like tonsillitis surgery or some shit.
Everything was just puffy and swollen.
Yeah. Good for you.
We have. Is our guest coming down the hall? Is that what it is?
I think that was that Laura Jane Grace.
Do you know Laura Jane?
That sounds familiar. She sounds pretty famous.
She's in the band Against Me.
Oh,
yeah,
I think she's going to come on my show.
Oh, well, you get to interview her with us too.
Yeah, this is what's going to turn out to be the only time I talk to her.
Yeah,
no, she was going to come on and then I was sick or something. I don't know.
Oh, well, she's here today. She's coming in now.
Well, here's my window.
Yeah.
I'll Snapchat it. Drop your jacket, Jimmy.
Make it count.
Thank you.
Make it count, Jason. This is it.
Bring her
Is she
in.
coming in?
She's single?
Yeah. I don't know. Ask her.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You guys don't mind if I hit on her on your show, do you?
No, that's what I want.
Oh, then watch. Here we go.
Thinking about, come on in.
Hey.
Good. How's it going? Sit down.
Hello.
Laura Jane Grace coming in from Against Me. She's also got a new book out called Tranny, Confessions of Punk Rock's Most Infamous Anarchist Sellout.
Mouthful.
Yeah, I know. Welcome.
Do you get shit for saying tranny? Because there's so many activists that get angry if you use the word, regardless of the intention.
Oh, I mean, I hate the word. I don't like the word at all.
Oh, you don't?
No.
What would you call your book that?
I mean, a lot of my book is about self-hate and internalized transphobia.
That's real.
So, I mean, in that way, it's a fitting title.
I'm Jason, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Jason.
I'm not supposed to be here. This is not my show.
Cool.
But I'm
He was
you were
invited,
going to be on
though.
my show, but something happened.
Oh, yeah.
I think I had to. I had to have a heart a test on my heart. That's what it was.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
I remember
I'm
that
okay.
thing.
I'm alive. I'm super fit and shit. But I had to do it to make sure because I'm super paranoid. I'm sure you can understand. I've got issues just as well as you.
Right on.
It's not a competition. You know that.
No. I mean, if you
I
want
want you to know, I'm fucked up too. Don't become.
I'm just trying to like set the. You feel we're even. Are you single?
I am. Yes.
Right. I'm super into you.
Right on.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
you know.
Okay.
I like your style. I like your vibe.
I like your head tattoo.
I like your neck tattoo.
Thank you.
We should make out. I mean, not right now because it'd be awkward, but maybe later.
Yeah.
All right.
Off camera. We don't want to be YouTube sensations.
Right.
You
right.
wouldn't be.
Get pumped on your own shit, Jimmy.
How did I guess? I mean, this must be the question that everybody asks. But what kind of reception did you get from your fans? Because I mean, they had Against Me was a really established band.
With what? With coming out?
Yeah, before
Yeah.
you transitioned.
That's a big jump because like Halford came out as gay, but that's a different jump than
Right on. Yeah, I mean, people were really supportive, and people really like surprised me. You know, like totally surprised me. I actually like. I felt like if I wouldn't have been up front though and come out and just like told people that it would have been different. You know, that if I had like started to exhibit, like if I had started like wearing eyeliner or something like that, that people would have been like, oh, guy liner or something like that. You know, so I felt like I kind of had to come out and just say it. You know.
So didn't you try at one point and then go like I can't do it and then just restart?
Well, I had a suicidal nervous breakdown about a year and a half after coming out, and kind of bottomed out for a little while. But
was that because you thought it was a mistake? Like, oh, I don't know
it
if
was
this
just
is
the pressure, you know,
Right.
really. It was like just the pressure, and I had like an adverse reaction to the hormones that I was on. So like I quit hormones cold turkey for a couple months, and when you quit hormones cold turkey, that really, after being on them for like a year, it really affects you.
Well, you were taking pills, right?
Yeah, pills, and then switched to injections, and injections are a lot more even keeled.
Because you become a woman, which means you get all emotional like a woman.
Men are emotional too.
Yeah, but they don't. Because I've had people on my podcast and my radio show. I had a transgender girl to guy, and when he got the shots, he got a beard, and he said he had to go through puberty, and he became
Me too, yeah.
right. So he said that he went through all these things that. Well, we all did when we were like 11 or 12 or 15, whatever it comes. And so that means I assume that it's a reverse. I know a little bit about transgender. I was just at a club on Tuesday. Super into them. Super into girls that have, and I understand your pain because you were born a man. I do. Don't fucking look. You can laugh at me all you want. You got a book about it, not me.
I just like that Jason's really selling himself.
What as like
Thank
a
you
potential?
for understanding my pain.
I do.
He does. He's not bluffing.
I want to understand more of your pain. If you know what I mean.
Read the book.
I don't read. I've got 2 books and I never
There's
read
an
any of them.
audiobook.
I just want to look at the pictures and I'm not seeing any of you naked and it's bumming me out. That's all, I'm just flicking through here and I'm like, there's a lot of words here. It looks like you drank a lot and did some drugs though.
I did, yes.
That doesn't help.
So you started doing drugs when you were like 13 years old, right?
Yeah, you know, pretty young age. I kind of like was like dead set on it, you know.
About doing like it was something you.
I was like, I'm going to get into drugs. I'm going to start smoking cigarettes. These are terrible, but I'm going to do it. And
Yeah.
like I'm going to find drugs.
Why did you? What made you do that when you're that? Young.
I wanted the experience, you know. I guess that had a lot to do with it, and then experience like and experimenting with the way that like drugs affected dysphoria. You know, like for me, smoking weed really calms me and really like took away the panic. Like doing coke, like took away the feelings of dysphoria, just like numbed me. I didn't care about anything else. Same with drinking. And you know, it was South Florida, so like drugs were rampant. It was easier to find like cocaine and acid than it was to get someone to buy you alcohol.
You got married twice, right?
Yes.
So, to women. So was it hard to like sleep with women, or were you not into it, or did you just do it because like, well, this is what
No,
I'm
I
supposed
mean,
to do?
you know, there's a difference between gender identity and sexual identity, and I mean, like, I really like sex. Sex is great, you know.
Oh, so are you attracted to women now or men?
I am. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Not dudes.
You know, I
don't have a shot.
That's he's not
You're
asking.
coming on strong. It's really early. I've had 2 sips of coffee.
Yeah. Well, drink some more coffee because here I come.
Good for you, Jason.
Pound that shit.
Did you? I guess I don't even understand. Like, because when I was 13, were you always just an explorative person, like that just wanted to experience everything? I'm asking because when I was 13, I hadn't tried a hamburger yet, and you're doing fucking cigarettes and blow. And
what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I did.
Sam's a late bloomer, though. Sam's a late bloomer.
What's so dangerous about a fucking hamburger?
I just didn't like different things. I liked what I liked. I know what I like
at 13,
and that's what I do. That's it.
Yeah,
I don't need to look
you never
around.
did drugs?
Never.
Oh, you missed out. It's pretty good.
He's a little OCD, Sam. He's got a weird thing with tastes and textures. He's a weird dude.
Just like, this is what I like.
You're not
this
a good.
is what I know.
You're not a good case study for that because you've done a lot of weird things that most people haven't done.
I think I'm the opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah,
what weird
but if you're
stuff
on the
have you done?
spectrum.
Nothing weird. I don't do weird stuff. I like my things.
Why are you such a vag? Get out there. Stick your finger in something.
I like.
I didn't mean like pussy or anything. I mean like get your get your toe wet, whatever it's.
What is dysphoria?
What is dysphoria?
Yeah.
It's a feeling of disconnect, feeling of misalignment, feeling like what's in my head doesn't match up. Like you have your self-image that you can think about, like, oh, this must be the way I look. And every time I see a mirror, I'm like, it's like a feeling of disconnect.
And how do they know? Because there's all these people that say, well, it's only a mental thing. How do you know that it's not just a mental thing that needs to be fixed instead of saying this is really who I am?
Well, gender is in your head. I mean, like, a cliche example would be, okay, if you're a soldier and you go over to Iraq and you get your genitals blown off, are you still male?
Right, so it is like you would identify yourself as male regardless of if you had your dick and balls left or not. So I get that. So it's a psychological identity.
Right.
And so when you realize, I guess it's not, you're not walking around as a teenager being like, I should have been born a girl, or were you?
Well, I mean, like, I didn't hear the word transgender until I was probably like 19 or 20.
Right.
And, it was like pre-internet days where it's not like I could go to the library and there was no books on it or anything like that. So like for a long time I thought I was schizophrenic. I thought like there was like twin souls inside me warring or something like that. I just didn't understand it. I didn't know what was wrong with me. Like I thought, okay, I guess I'm gay. Maybe I'm gay. I don't know. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Yeah, those weird, confusing thoughts.
Me and Jim are pretty fruity.
But
sorry, Jim, to throw you in. But
please throw myself in 1974. So, when you write songs, would that help you with your writing? Like all this kind of crazy stuff you're thinking in your head makes you have to get it out. So
yeah, and that's always what songwriting's
did you allude to it in your songwriting where nobody knew?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was like, like alluding to it and like hiding things in metaphor. But then like, by like our fourth record, there was a lyric on our fourth record that was, if I could have chosen, I would have been born a woman. And I remember like singing it in the studio and being like, does anyone think that's weird, that lyric? And everyone was like, no, it's cool, go with it, and just no one ever said anything. So it became like this like thing of, okay, like how much can I say? How far can I push it? Is anyone paying attention?
Was there a point where somebody said, wait a minute, you meant that for real? We thought that was just a lyric.
Well, afterwards, like, sure.
Or when you come out where they're like, yeah, we were listening to your lyrics. We kind of fucking gathered.
I had like one or two friends afterwards who said like, oh yeah, I kind of gathered, but I was like, no, you fucking didn't.
No, you didn't.
Do you think that because of the way it is these days that it's a little more acceptable that you have done this and committed to it? Or like, let's say you're the same age you are 20 years ago, would you have gone through what you're going through right now and become the woman that you are? Because the times have changed and you're not going to be chastised as badly? Because I feel like people are way more acceptable of transgender and people being gay or bi or whatever it is. 20 years ago, like I'm bi, I came out just recently. I don't think 20 years ago I think I would have kept it to myself.
Right.
Because I think I just would have been fired. I think I would have lost my job.
Right. Well, I mean, I think for most trans people that it becomes like not an option to not come out.
So you knew you were going to.
Right. And for me, it was like, consequences be damned. If this costs me like my whole entire fan base or whatever, like it doesn't matter.
Do you think it's because of your age as well? Like you think you got a little, like when you were younger, because you said you knew when you were little, do you think the older you got, you knew that it was like, this is the healthiest thing for me to do?
Well, yes, but also like I think that I probably would have come out at a lot younger of an age if I wouldn't have done what I did with my life. As far as like when I was 20 years old, I started touring, playing like 200 plus shows a year for like 10 years, signed to a major label. Like, so there was like all these things that distract me along the way.
Okay.
And like, I came out at the end of a major label like contract and was just like, just didn't know who I was anymore, you know, and it was like coming to the realization of like, okay, if this is the way I felt when I was 5, this is the way I felt when I was 10, 15, 20, like I'm always going to feel this way, you know, like I need to accept this and move the fuck on, you know.
Did you ever like dress up when you were on the way? Because I read I think Caitlin said that like years ago, I think you would just like when it was still Bruce would dress up and go out. Did you ever dress up and like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get caught?
Yeah, I mean, like I lived in hotels. Like I lived in a hotel for like 2 years, and I mean, like there was great anonymity in that, you know. But I had like systems where I was like, okay, I got my hotel key card. If this like demagnetizes for some reason, what do I do? Okay, I'll hide a pair of spare clothes in my car outside so I could change, so I don't have to go to the front desk to get a new key, or like get a hotel room where I can crack a window to crawl back in through the window if I need, you know.
Isn't it kind of rock and roll to be in a dress as a, like, I feel like if you're the singer of a band and I see you dressed as a woman, I'm just like, fuck yeah. I honestly wouldn't think, you know, he's trying to become transgender. I'd be like, he's just rocking out.
Right. But that's probably someone who's not transgender and who's just rocking out, you know, like as opposed to like, again, like having a book called Channy where like, I hated that about myself, you know, and I feared people knowing about that about me because I didn't accept it.
Completely relate. I feel like, you know, a transgender, but just admitting that I'm bi, I still find it. I'm okay with you guys because I've already done it. I did it on Sam's show. Like I admitted a lot of stuff on Sam's show, but I didn't. There's still certain people that they're like, so you're bi, and I'm like, oh man,
you wouldn't
do it. The one room I don't want to talk about it.
You said you wouldn't do it on your show. Like you said, there was stuff that you would say on my show because it's in this room that you didn't want to do on your show
I just didn't want to announce it.
Yeah,
You questioned me. If you didn't question me, I wasn't going to fucking talk about it.
Right.
You heard me on Pete Dominic, and he touched on it a little bit, so I was a little more open to it. But no one ever asked me, so I'm like, I don't want to be on like a loudspeaker and tell everybody. But if I get asked, I'm not going to lie. I want to be honest. And then honestly, since I told you on the show, obviously nobody caught it on YouTube, but I felt better that I got it out.
Yeah.
So from now on, I'm way more into talking about it because I don't want to hide.
Well, that's a big part of it too. Like, did you know? And you know, you put out the book and everything. Was there a part of you, even as you're transitioning, that's like, I've put so much time and effort and energy into the music and into this band. I don't want people to forget about the band and me become this thing that let's just talk about this person and the journey that they went through transitioning.
Well, no, because I mean, like the narrative of my band for years before that was always like, are you a sellout? Are you not a sellout for whatever record label I was on? It's never about the music, you being in a band. You go out and you do press and like the press is going to latch onto whatever story they want to latch onto. No one's like, what kind of guitars did you use on this record? Or like, you were stoked on a new amp you got or anything? Like, no one cares about that. No one cares about the songwriting craft or something like that. So it's always something that doesn't matter. And when it comes down to it, like, you know, maybe it would have grabbed a couple of headlines coming out or something like that. But like, if the music isn't good or if your shows aren't good, no one's going to care. No one's going to come out and see you.
What was the first show you did after you came out?
It was so lame. It was so lame. We played with The Cult, and it was a show in San Diego at this like outside seated venue with like folding chairs. And there's all this like pressure. People are like, oh, it's your first show as a woman. It's like, no, fuck off. It's just a show. Like, we're just playing a show. We're opening for another band.
Didn't your voice sound different though?
No, it doesn't work like that. It works like that with testosterone, but it doesn't work like that with estrogen.
Okay, sorry.
I would have thought the same thing, to tell you the truth, that the hormones would bring you down.
So you sing the same as you sang before.
Yeah,
and the fans have been really. It's really the fans have been really cool. Like certain performers, you might think, the fans, but when you think punk or hard, like you think the fans would be harder for them to accept that. But
sure. Well, I mean, like for the most part, you know, I mean, it's like a line in the sand. Like, you know, anyone's coming out to a show then is on the same page as you. But then also, like, there was a lot of fans we were losing because, like, they felt like they didn't feel safe at our shows anymore, especially as, like, we started touring with more mainstream acts, and, like, there was more of, like, a jock element at our shows where, like, people were like, I don't feel comfortable here. I feel like I'm going to get beat up for being a freak. And that's not what, like, punk rock is. You know, it's supposed to be like a island of misfit toys at a show.
You said Springsteen gave you good advice too.
He did. He wrote me a letter, like, but that was like in 2007, 2008 or something.
Yeah, because I saw the photo. Yeah. It was you before you transitioned with him and his son. Mm-hmm. And what was it about? It was something to do with the label?
It was just about, you know, people calling you a sellout and not taking that, you know, and just being true to what you do. And like, as long as you get up there on stage and give it your all, you know, after that, let the cards fall where they may, you know, like, and it just, like, really, like, He was a real supporter. Really.
People think that if you do well, like when Metallica cut their hair all of a sudden, you guys are fucking sellouts. Like whenever a band does something a little bit different, success or more people discover you, the fans automatically interpret that because the fans like to have this secret thing.
Right, it's ours.
Where it's ours, and when they're protective of it, and then any change or any notoriety, they think it's a sellout.
Which I get. I mean, I grew up in punk rock too, but to me, like selling out always meant giving up on your dreams and like, okay, I'm not going to play music anymore. I'm going to go get some job I hate, some soul-sucking existence that isn't
or change
fulfilling.
the band to fit a label's image or something like that.
I remember Jason Newsted, I saw a video of him in Metallica saying, yeah, we sell out every seat in the stadium.
I saw that too, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Was that the Bruce thing? I think I read that. Didn't that follow like that there was an anti-against me rally or group or something
I got like arrested the night before,
right?
And like
because you got in a fight with a bunch of people, right?
Yeah, I kind of snapped and lost it for a second.
What happened?
I was in Tallahassee, Florida, and I was in a coffee shop and like went back to use the restroom. Was coming back and someone had taken like a picture out of the weekly magazine and like whatever wrote a bunch of shit on it, and I like tore it down. And some kid got up in my face. He's like, "Why'd you do that?" And like just got really rude with me, and then like turned around and walked away. And I like came after him. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm a human being. You don't know me. Why are you treating me like this? And he was just like so smug, and he's like, as far as I'm concerned, this conversation's over. And as far as I was concerned, it wasn't over. So I attacked him,
Yeah, I'm feeling, as far as I'm concerned, this conversation's over. It must feel so good to hit a person after that.
Yeah. I mean, I slammed his head into the table, jumped on him, but I didn't realize that there was an Against Me protest show happening there that night in the cafe. So it was like everyone in there.
Protest show?
Yeah, a protest show.
What were they protesting?
They were protesting us playing.
Why?
Because we were sellouts.
What? Wait, they were old fans? Oh, they weren't against you.
They were old fans, who were no longer fans. So, like, I didn't realize the second I walked in there.
And this is before transitioning, and this has nothing to do with that.
Your fan was trying to fight you.
Yeah, well, ex-fan, I guess. Yeah,
because you were more successful than when he originally started liking it.
Yeah, and again, like, we're playing for, maybe there was like 200 people at the show that night. It wasn't like huge or anything, and, but I didn't realize like everyone in that room was like watching me the second I walked in, so like the second the fight started happening, like everyone jumped on me, so it was like 10 on 1,
They helped them, like they were such shit fans, they helped the fan in that, and they jumped on you?
Totally, and then they called the cops. Punks called the cops.
What awful.
Yeah. Wow. It's so crazy that they were. How did that feel? Like, to know that there are old fans that are so passionate that they're protesting you.
Right. Well,
does that mean that, like, does it feel even more successful that people care that much, or does it just feel shitty?
No, it just exposed it to be bullshit. Like, all of it. Like, all this, like, we're going to start a revolution, anarchy, and all this shit. I remember, like, we played this Polish American Hall on Long Island in, like, 2003, 2004, and it was, like, a 16-year-old fan set it up. It was $8 to get into the show, and people came, they slashed our tires. So, like, a couple shows later, we see the kid who slashed our tires, and there's, like, about to be a confrontation happening out in front of the show, and I look over and I see a punk pick up a brick, and I'm like, whoa, this kid is potentially going to bash my brains in because he doesn't like the record label we're on, and we're on Fat Records at this time. We're not on a major label, and he's going to kill me over this, and I was just like, fuck this, fuck punk rock, fuck you,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, because people just are using that as an excuse to behave the way they want to behave. It's like, what kind of fan gets that mad if you change record label? It's insanity. It's about something else.
Totally.
Plus, it's like you must get up there, like, when you start getting new fans. Like, I want you guys to like me, but don't like me that much. Like, just enjoy the show. Because last time we had passionate fans, they threatened to kill us because we fucking changed record labels.
Totally. And I mean, to me, it was always just absurd. And it was, like, everyone's having this argument, like, are you punk? Are you not punk? And it's like, I don't care. Privately, I'm just like, I have gender dysphoria. I don't know how to deal with this. Your argument is stupid. I just do not care. This is the farthest thing from what I'm thinking about.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm schizophrenic or not. I don't care what you label my music genre
I see 9 people in the mirror. I don't care who my agent is.
It's so much more terrifying to know that your fans would do that because of a label than to know that you're going to tell the world that you're transgender. I don't know. That would really slow me down. Somebody tried to kill me with a brick because I was on a shitty label. Now I'm going to tell everybody that I'm a woman. What kind of group is coming for me now? Like, did that cross your mind?
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Do you do drugs?
I do. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So you're still running a little bit.
I mean, I've definitely calmed down. I smoke weed.
Just that's it?
Yeah. I mean, I'll have a drink every once in a while. I've been dry for the last 2 months. I had a celebratory drink last night. We did the Seth Meyers show or whatever. But
how was that?
What's that? The
How
Seth
was it?
Meyers show?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Really fun. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why'd you go dry for 2 months? Just because? Just as an
Well, I
exercise?
had a back injury. Like at the beginning of it, we just did this tour with Bad Religion. I had a back injury, so I was taking like some pills for my back, and I was like, okay, if I'm taking pills, I don't want to drink while doing pills. You know.
Probably one of the most interesting things that I thought about the book was just like you really go through how much you struggled with this for years and years and years. And at one point, you're talking about you started by praying and just trying to reach out to God and say like, okay, if God exists, he'll help me and blah, blah, blah. And then when that wasn't helping, you turned to you tried Satanism.
I signed my soul to the devil.
I did that for skateboarding.
You did?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I did that when I was 13. I thought it was cool.
Did you write out a literal contract?
Oh, it was so clear. Oh, it's embarrassing, like just suburban angst. I signed it in blood. Like
Did you really do that?
I
Yes,
did
I
it
did.
too. I signed it in blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Fuck,
I
everybody
thought
on
it
that
was
side of
cool.
the table has everything in common. I didn't sign my
Exactly.
name.
We all hate you.
Satan told me to keep that a secret.
God damn, you all signed your name in blood?
I didn't sign my name in blood. I just prayed to him every night to let me be a professional skateboarder.
Yeah, and guess what? He answered. Didn't
Boom.
he?
Hail Satan.
Congratulations.
But I got kicked out of church. Like my church, I went to a church and like they started paying for me to see a psychiatrist, and then eventually like told me don't come to church anymore. And it was like, wow, God is telling me not to go to church. This is wild. You know?
Did you ever almost get caught growing up? Like you must have been doing something as a teenager or whatever, where you came like this close to getting outed or exposed.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, there was one time like I'd skipped school and I was sitting on the back porch of my mom's house and I was smoking weed in a dress, and like the meter man came through the back fence, and I was like, "Fuck!" and I got up
So
and went
hot.
inside, you know. And then there was like another time where like my favorite thing used to be like I'd skip school and like there was 2 hours of television where it was like back-to-back episodes of Wings and Quantum Leap and then MacGyver after that.
Shout out
and
to
I would
MacGyver.
just
Yeah,
like
dope.
I would make myself Clue and Creams and sit and drink Clue and Creams all day in a dress and just like watch TV.
Wings?
Yeah, it was
That's
great.
bizarre under any circumstances. Anybody putting on a dress and sipping beverages watching Wings.
But I passed out one time and like right before my parents came home and like woke up seeing them pulling in the driveway. So there was like many close calls like that. You know?
And they would. Are they alive?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So they're cool with it, right?
I haven't talked to my father since I came out, and
Why?
I don't know, just it ended communication. Like I wrote him a letter coming out, you know, and tried my best to explain myself. I'm sure it wasn't that eloquent. And I just got like a cryptic 1-word response.
What did it say?
Not 1 word, but it said, for now the door is open, but we'll see. And, it was just like, what does that mean? Fuck
Wait,
you.
for now the door is open. Was there other stuff that he was saying that because of, like, or was it just because of this?
I mean, like, my parents divorced when I was like 12 years old or something like that. So ever since then, it was always kind of a strained relationship. You know, my dad was Army, grew up in a military family, and it was what it was. But my mother's been really supportive. And
So your dad is like, oh, that's my son, and this is what's. It's a lot of. I've heard a lot of people say that the dads have a hard time with this sometimes.
yeah, I mean,
That's not cool. That's the most important one. Mums are going to understand. But your dad, when he understands it, then you feel like the world has accepted you. Because that one for me would be, come on, man. Like, you think I'm doing this for attention? Like,
Right.
You got to understand and he's not, he didn't give you the, I mean, like Sam and Jim said, you weren't that close with him in the beginning, but was he mean to you? Were you still friends before this?
yeah, I mean,
So he has switched off to you.
yeah, and I mean, like, you know, I have a 7-year-old daughter, and it's like, you know, he has no contact with my daughter either. It's just like
Just since
completely-
that's it.
That's it. That was
Wow,
it.
so you have a 7-year-old daughter and you've become a mummy, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, she still calls me dad, you know, but she says she and her. She just like, it's not an
accepts it.
issue to her.
Didn't
Yeah.
she ask you she wanted you to still be a boy?
That was like right after I came out. Yeah.
Was that hard?
It was like heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, it like totally destroyed me for sure, you know?
But now it's okay?
Yeah, I mean, like kids just want to know you
I know,
love
right?
them and they aren't going away.
I know.
You know?
Do you I notice you got pretty big hands. Do you like tie it up and put it back? Is that new or like when you first started doing that? Do you tuck it? What?
No, I mean, I don't give a shit, you know, like,
just there?
For me, like, if it's hard for someone to understand that, like, sometimes girls have a penis and sometimes boys have a vagina, then that's their issue. That's not my issue.
You don't go there?
I don't have a problem with myself anymore. Like, coming out was totally liberating and, like, completely, like, fixed all the issues in my head in that way, where it's just like, I am the way I am. And especially having a suicidal nervous breakdown. Then after that, it was like, you know what? Like, there's an out. I can always just go and slit my wrist after this, you know, like, but since I'm not gonna, then fuck anyone who has a problem with me, and you know, like, fuck you if you don't get it. And
I want to hug you, but it's like
we
I'll
can
do it
hug
later.
after.
Yeah.
See,
it's going to be fucking intense. I'll tell you that.
It's going to be a tight one.
Yeah.
I'm not trans, but sometimes I tuck anyway just to show myself who's boss.
Laura, do you feel like Jim's relating to you on that?
I'm more confused than I've ever been in my entire life. What the fuck does that mean?
No, I never understood tucking. It just seems like remarkably uncomfortable.
Look,
sit on a plane.
But I think these are like these are
Sit on a
misconceptions.
plane?
These are like stereotypes. These are like, you know, like this is like a cisgendered person's like understanding of what it means to be trans.
No,
you know?
trans people have told me that. Like one girl I know, she just went through SRS, and she said that for her the worst part, besides like feeling like the dick didn't necessarily belong
What's
there.
SRS?
Sexual reassignment surgery was going on a plane or going to the beach. And I've texted her since, like, hey, how are you since the surgery? She goes, great, I can go swimming on the beach now. And I'm like, I get that, but that also seems like it's more about other people's perception than, like, you know what I mean? Like,
totally. Yeah. I mean, I get flagged every time I go through airport security.
Sure.
Like the Provision body scanner machines, where they're always like, you have an anomaly in your crotch.
That's what they say to me. I always brag about it because I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
I've actually said that to people about myself. You want to check out my anomaly? Not that unusual. It doesn't work properly.
I tried those pants on. A friend of mine left those, the underwear and the tie thing in my bathroom once. And
there's an actual, like, tie device specifically
it's called
made for
the
that?
gaff.
It's what?
A gaff.
It is? Well, I wasn't sure, but I hooked that bad boy up on me and put it all in there. And I was like, man, I'm not like sitting down or anything. Like, I don't understand how you pull it off.
Yeah.
But I guess you get used to it. Some girls are bigger than others. So I think maybe that might help. But
Is that a Morrissey quote?
It is. It is.
No, Judy Blume.
I can't believe I actually know that, man. That's my only song that I know from him.
So, like, you know, when you're talking about people's perceptions and stuff, how ready were you to go from somebody who's literally, I mean, struggled with this all their life, as much as anybody's ever struggled with anything, suicidally struggled with this for decades, to then become this representative of the community? Because, you know,
I wasn't ready for it at all. That's why I had a nervous breakdown.
Right.
You know, it was like a year later. It was
That's
just
a public
like, this
figure.
is too much pressure. I'm, you know, losing it. You know?
Yeah, because you do now have to represent, like, trans in the public eye for cisgender people to understand.
Sure, but I always try to be really upfront with people and be like, you know, I am not a perfect person. I do not have all the answers. I can only speak for myself and for my experiences. That's it.
And why did you turn down $500,000? I read that and I was wondering, is it anything to do with the fact that, well, this was a major label and I've gotten so much shit for being on other labels?
You mean for music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was punk guilt for sure, but then they came back and like offered us more money the next time around.
You did take it that time, right?
That next time around we took it. Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah, taking the money is always okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why punks think that they have to be broke, you know, or fans of punks think they have to be
Well, there's
broke.
something about the struggle that's, like, I think an attractive thing like that. Like, we're going to fight against the system, and once you get paid, like, what are you fighting against? You got paid.
Every single person that hates you for taking that deal would take that deal. Because I've been broke and I've had money, and
Which
I
is
know which
better?
one's better.
Yeah, sure. You enjoyed the money part a little better?
It's fucking really sweet.
It is, right?
I've had a divorce, so one time I was broke and I was rich, then I was broke again. So every time I come back up, I'm like, a note to self, sell out.
But since you make the money, is it harder to write the same stuff? Like, sometimes it's hard, like, when you're struggling against something and you feel shitty, creativity works a little bit better because it's just a reaction to feeling shitty.
Yeah.
Sure. But if you feel good, it's like, it's kind of hard to find something to push against.
Do you think she has struggles still?
Yeah, sure. Like,
well, no, but there was a disconnect, like originally being a band that, you know, we were an anarcho-punk band, you know, so singing about anarchism, and that's why you get called a sellout, because, like, being anti-capitalist and then making money off of your music conflict, you know, those two things. And singing about, like, dumpster diving and stuff like that, and then you're like, well, I no longer dumpster dive, so what am I going to write about now? You know, like, that's identity, you know, and that had a lot to do with dysphoria, too, of feeling like, okay, way, you know, you latched on to these identities. That it was like, I can't express myself as I feel, so I'll be punk and I'll charge out my hair and I'll wear a big spiky leather jacket and ripped up jeans, whatever. And then like you lose that identity and then dysphoria comes out more strongly, you know?
Have you talked to John Lydon at all?
I've never met him. No.
So this is like the last 3 years. Would you say it's the first time in your life that you felt normal?
Yeah, I like that I can be myself, especially like on stage, you know, like I'm not up there being like, who am I? Who are you people? You know,
what is it like to like not have that, you know what I mean? Because even it's an unpleasant thing to grow up struggling and struggling and struggling. And when you finally fix it, are you prepared to not have that struggle? You know what I mean? Because that becomes an identifying thing. Like, that's just who I am. I struggle.
Yeah, without that pit in the stomach feeling.
Well, but also, I mean, you know, it's that's wrong, actually. You know, like, I still don't have it all figured out. And my concept and understanding of gender is still continually evolving, you know? And it's not like it's like to say like, oh, you transitioned is false. It's like you're in transition, you're transitioning, you know, but then really that's life, you know, like you're constantly evolving and like learning and becoming who you are, you know. And I don't have it all figured out. I don't like, I have an idea of who I'd like to be in 10 years, but I don't really know who I'm going to be in 10 years, you know. But like when it comes down to it, like I still suffer from depression, and depression is a mental illness, you know, and it's not necessarily tied to the dysphoria, you know. So I still struggle, you know, like, and I still like, I mean, my life that I have on tour with my band is one thing when I'm surrounded by everybody, but other than that, like, I go back to Chicago and it's like, boom, you're alone, you know, like, and I don't know.
Do you so do you feel like you want to go through surgeries, or you don't know yet, or do you see yourself down the road as being like having breasts and a vagina, or do you not even think about that, or you just don't know?
Oh, I have tits.
I was going to say, you didn't catch that?
Yeah.
No, she's wearing a big jacket.
You notice that, Jason?
Fuck yeah. Dude.
But no, you know, honestly, like tattoos have been a good learning lesson with that. Where like you go in for a tattoo and you have this idea of like, oh, the tattoo will look like that, and you know, this is what I want done. And sometimes you come out and you're like, oh, it's a little fucked up, and it doesn't quite look how I thought it would look, you know, or I don't quite like it, you know. So like knowing that with surgeries and stuff like that, you know, you know,
that those titties come out. You happy?
Are you, Jason?
I don't know. I want to see.
You can't touch him wearing a very big jacket and a big shirt.
What's the Australian phrase? Tits out for the boys.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. Which I love. I want to write a song called "Tits Out for the Boys."
I'm sure it'll be a good one. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So see here,
I'd love to help you write it, actually.
But you're happy with that part of it.
I've accepted myself. You know, I am. Plastic surgery doesn't fix a broken soul. You know?
But they look good, though. More to the point. Hey, I seriously think it's like your demographic, because it's not all transgender people don't, the people that you're talking to or your fan base, they don't know about it. Like, you know, they live in another world where they listen to your kind of music, and that's not around them a lot. So I feel like what you're doing, I know you're doing what you've got to do because you are who you are, but you realize it's a very important thing. Like, you're talking to people, because to me, I have a radio show where I talk to a lot of Neanderthals, and if I'm by, they're like, wait, you're supposed to smash shit and like titties. I'm like, I do. But I also don't mind like transgender girls, and every now and then if a guy wants to blow me, I might be into that.
Right.
It doesn't ruin me. And they're like, well, if it doesn't ruin you, maybe it's okay. Maybe I'll be more acceptable to people like that around the world. So I feel like what you're doing, I mean, it's helping you, but you do know, like, all the fans, the people that are into your music, they don't know this.
Sure.
And you're introducing them to it. You're like, I don't want to do it, but like Caitlyn Jenner, you're like Caitlyn Jenner to real people, not a bunch of fucking shitty housewives. No disrespect to them, but you're usually stupid. You're talking to the kids, you know what I mean, that I feel like are more important than people that watch the Kardashians on TV.
Sure, but that's why it's important to be visible and to represent who you are, you know?
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is I mean, as far as punk rock messages go, to be true to yourself to that level is about as punk rock as you could be, right?
I hope so.
That's what one would think. One would think. Well, listen, we have to let you go. We have to let you go do your show.
Oh, hey, fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's flown by. But it's been great talking to you. Everybody pick up the book.
And you're touring, who are you touring with now? With Green Day?
In March, we're going out with Green Day.
Okay, great. And the book is just called Tranny. Laura Jane Grace. And
Confessions of Punk Rock's Most Infamous Anarchist Sellout.
My eyes are going badly. I really am. We do reads for Audible. I'm like, I really have to do that because my fucking eyes suck.
Jim is transitioning into a very old man.
Yes, I am.
Doing a great job.
She's got a bunch of signings, though. If you want to meet Laura, you can tomorrow go to Politics and Prose in Washington, D.C., Saturday, Miami Book Fair. Sunday, Books A Million in Tallahassee, Florida. November 21st in Ann Arbor, November 29th in San Francisco, then Los Angeles, then Santa Monica, then on December 2nd, back to Chicago. So keep an eye out for all those signings. And if she's not coming to your town, buy the book. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're really interesting.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.
And Jason.
Yeah, I'm going to get busy over here. I got to go too.
Yeah, people can hear the Jason Ellis show in like a few minutes.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, but you know what? I hear the best parts of the Jason Ellis show are the second and third hours, so you don't have to turn off our show.
Oh, is it like that?
You could just listen to our last hour.
We've got to remedy this whole thing.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
But Jason Ellis is on Faction, so tune into that in like 5 minutes. And we'll be right back with Nick Kroll
and John Mulaney.
Man, you guys get guests. This is bullshit.
Right.
Hey, welcome back again.
Yes.
Thanks to Laura Jane Grace for coming in.
Yes, and Jason for stopping in.
Jason Ellis is always great. I'll be on Jason Ellis's show right after this show. So today, once we're done here, turn on Faction, and I'm walking over and doing Jason's show right after, so that'll be a good time. If you want to call in, 866-969-1969. You want to tweet in, Jim and Sam Show, and that's across all forms of social media, including YouTube. Amazing uploads have been happening all the time.
Wow.
Let's bring in our next guest, huh? It's a busy show today. Jim's going to be in Florida all weekend.
Yeah, tomorrow and Saturday only at the Improv in Fort Lauderdale. Nick Kroll and John Mulaney.
Yes.
They're both brilliant stand-ups, but they're promoting Oh Hello on Broadway. It's now through January the 15th at the Lyceum Theater. It's on West 45th Street.
Yes.
ohhellobroadway.com if you want tickets. These shows do sell out.
I got to see it on Broadway. It seemed like just a major... It just felt like an accomplishment to see this show get put on Broadway, because you could tell it was something that Nick and John really wanted to put on and to put all this time, and it must have been hard to get made, and the fact that it was shown on Broadway and everything, and people were laughing in the audience and enjoying it was cool to see. Welcome, guys.
What's up, guys?
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
We're good. We were in the room when you were saying all those nice things.
Yes. We got uncomfortable by minute 45. It was like, wow, I should just ask them how they did it.
We sat down.
We had
so
Jim
slowly.
Norton on the show off Broadway. That's how we did it. That's how we got the
That's
run.
right.
That's true.
At the Cherry Lane.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was a fun show to do.
Is it? I was thinking about that. The fact that one of the segments in the play has a different interview guest, and I feel like if I was putting on a play, I wouldn't want the extra stress of also having to book a guest for every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably pretty similar to what you guys do. You just deal with you do your show, and then you have this element of guests and people coming in. You sort of host them, and you sort of just move on and keep doing the show.
Yeah.
Do you like it because it keeps it fresh? Like, as stand-ups, it's kind of hard to. I mean, we do the same thing every night, but it's kind of harder to go off book if you're in a script.
We have a good amount of improvising just in the rest of the play, but the interview does make it fresh, and also helps place the show in time, because you're doing the same thing every night, and then you're doing the same thing twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday, and there is a weird thing where you're in the middle of the play, and I'll think what day is it? Where are we? How many times have we done this? You just done it a million times.
Right. You just lose track of everything.
You can at least go that was the night Seth Rogen came. That was the night Stephen Colbert came.
Right.
And John, and also John's getting very good at dropping the names of the people who've done the show so far.
You know what? That's not funny. You know what? That's not funny to accuse me of being obnoxious.
Okay.
When I'm trying to publicize the show.
Okay. Let's just do it. Let's talk about other stuff.
All right,
then.
let's do our personas that were like each other.
Do you worry though with the guests, like the people? Have you done any shows where people are disappointed because you'll say like, yeah, Seth Rogen was here and Alan Alda was here, and then somebody comes on who's a star but they're not Alan Alda.
Yeah, I think people have an expectation sometimes. If you introduce someone and they're like, no, that's not the most famous person in the world.
I know. I experienced that walking out on stage. I've seen those blank, uncomfortable stares.
It was just like it was amazing. Like I went to an SNL a few weeks ago, and Emily Blunt and Bruno Mars were there.
Yeah.
And like while that's happening, the thing comes up on the screen that says next week Lady Gaga and Tom Hanks, and the audience audibly went, "Oh,
yeah,"
because they were like, they're more famous than the people that we're seeing.
It can happen that way. I think. I mean, the truth is, like, we've had guests who are, I mean, you have very famous people and then they're not actually fun. And very quickly the audience forgets who they're, once you get past, like, ladies and gentlemen, John Mulaney, and people are bummed out about that. Then you, once you're there up on stage and you just start talking.
Once they realize I'm not going to do time, they're
relieved. They're very comfortable.
It's forced. Like Robin Bird, perfect example.
Yeah.
Not every person in the theater knew who Robin Bird was, even though she is.
Jim, do you know who Robin Bird is?
I know the name, but I don't know what she does.
Really?
No.
That's so.
Well, you didn't grow up in New York City, right?
I grew up in Jersey.
Yeah.
What does Robin Bird do?
Robin Bird hosted a cable access show that interviewed porn stars and strippers.
Okay, yeah, but I know the name. I just didn't.
Yeah,
like she and Al Goldstein brought a famous
sure.
case against the Supreme Court about.
Not against the Supreme Court.
No, they went against the Supreme Court. It was Bird Goldstein v. Supreme Court.
Yes, it drove Thurgood Marshall into retirement.
Yeah, exactly.
They wanted to take over as the just two justices. Of the Supreme Court.
But people didn't exactly know who she was, and then, or some people did. The people who grew up, like, I used to, like, come into New York City and, like, go to my friend's house and watch Robin Bird and, like, see her interview, like, strippers and porn stars. It was amazing. People didn't quite know who she was, but then once you get into the interview, it's just super fun and interesting talking to this woman who's been and done and seen everything and everyone.
We also bring people up from the audience sometimes as our guests, and I swear those are the best interviews.
They are, right? Because they're not people who are used to being interviewed or talking.
Yes.
So they have nothing to protect.
And everybody's discovering this person together. So, like, John picked a guy out of the crowd last week, and we brought him up. He's a guy with a mustache, and he gets on stage, and we're like, originally, this was right before the election. He's from Ohio,
from Defiance, Ohio,
but it was then realized that he lives in New York, and he's a cop in New York, a cop who works in, like, community relations. And it was just a super interesting guy to talk to a cop.
He's NYPD community outreach to bridge the gap between people and cops.
So it was like our characters. It was like he had to he deals with guys like us all day long.
Yeah. Right.
Complaining about, like, the Gestapo tactics, but then also freaked out as, like, a black person.
Squeegee guy came to it.
Yeah, exactly. So they all end up fun as long as we have details, as long as the person's willing to talk to us.
Right.
How'd you get Alan Alda? He seems like he's hard to get to do things. He's older,
Yeah, we've been after him for years. We've been trying to get him for Kroll Show. We've been trying to get him for a lot of stuff. And then I honestly think it was Louis' show.
Yeah.
We had connections through to Horace and Pete.
Through Horace and Pete and a guy named Dave Becky.
And so I think we just worked it through that, and then he had heard enough about it.
The word Broadway helped.
Yeah,
sure. As opposed to, like, do you want to meet two Muppets? It's like, do you want to do?
Yeah, I guess it's different than trying to get him to do your podcast, right?
Now we've got some momentum. In the beginning, though, it was like, it's called Oh Hello on Broadway. We want you to do a segment called Too Much Tuna. By the way, my name's John. He's Nick. We don't play John and Nick. We play old men. You'll get served tuna fish. Do you want to do this?
Yeah.
A lot of people were just sort of
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
It took, like, you show, you get a little press about people doing it, and it helps.
Who were you the most nervous to have on? There must have been somebody who, like, one of you really looked up to.
Marcia Clark.
Marcia Clark, the OJ
She did it?
Yeah, she's in LA.
She was on our LA version.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, David Byrne, too.
Yeah, we had David Byrne from the Talking Heads and much more this past weekend, which was rad.
I blew his intro really badly because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was like, he's an acclaimed composer. I started.
He was
with,
like an
he's a
acclaimed
film
composer. He's complained.
And I went like acclaimed. He's the founder of the
It's
Talking
so
Heads,
great.
David Byrne.
But that probably worked for the character you're doing. It's playing an old man. It's not like you're playing a.
I know that is the advantage.
However, a little
Anytime,
broke through where you're like, this young man is
panicking. Fucking panicking.
Yeah.
So why Marsha Clark? Why were you nervous? She seems like she'd be fairly easy to talk to.
She was really easy to talk to. I was actually most nervous when I had to call her and explain the bit to her. I'm obsessed with the OJ trial, and yet I didn't know what to say. I'm like, do you say I'm a big fan?
Right.
Like, I don't know what.
I admire your lack of ability to get it done.
Yeah. But I admire her ability. So I was like, hey.
Yeah.
I started spinning. Nick has a photo of me talking to her on the phone.
Really funny.
I went,
So
hi,
nice.
I believe you already... That was that thing like when high school students give a speech and they use too many words. Like,
Yeah.
We are already at the point where we are trying to talk to you. It was just like... It was spinning out of control.
Yeah.
She was the sweetest, though.
And she was nice.
She was awesome.
She was really cool.
She was awesome. We talked to her about like Cochrane and like this was before the show. The show had come out, but the documentary hadn't come out.
People, the FX show was airing at that time,
but not the 30 for 30.
Yeah.
No,
But it was really cool. And then I mean they're all. I mean Alan Alda was pretty nerve wracking. That was our first show. David Byrne. It's a lot of the folks who are also like I saw F. Murray Abraham, who you would know from like Homeland Now, and Scarface, and Salieri and Mozart. And I saw him on the street. He plays he's referenced in our show. And he's like a major plot point in the show, but you never see him. And I saw him on the street, and I was like, "Hey, we do this show. It's called Oh Hello, and we have this bit where you get referenced, but we never see you. Would you like to do it?" And he was like, "But I don't understand. What do you want me to do?" And I was like, "Well, we don't see you on the show, but we'd like you to do it." And he's like, "So in a way, I'm already doing my job."
Yeah.
And you're like,
you say I'm going to come out, and then I don't come out, so I'm already doing it.
But it's really fun, specifically the people who don't have a ton of reference point for who we are or what we do. But at the same time, it's also like Birbiglia did the show the other night, and John and Mike and I have known each other for however long we've all known each other, like almost 20 years. So at that point, you then have like 3 old friends on stage.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, we had Ray Kelly on the off-Broadway version.
Former police commissioner Ray Kelly.
And it's one of those things where I was nervous about offending him with language,
Really?
But he's like the former police commissioner.
Right, he probably used a little bit of language.
He's also seen everything. He's seen like heads blown open, so he's not like offended.
Are you a true crime like fanatic, or is it just the OJ trial?
You do like a true crime.
I like a true crime.
Is that why you want to Ray? That's a good point, man. Maybe that's why you want Ray Kelly.
Well, Ray Kelly, we just wanted as like quintessential New Yorker.
He had been a beat cop on the Upper West Side, so he'd been dealing with shitheads like our characters his whole career. But it's honestly for us, it's just the idea of someone who does something. We had a chef on, Alex Guarnaschelli, who's on like Chopped and Iron Chef. It's just fun to talk to people who who have other kinds of gigs besides just comedians and actors.
Absolutely.
Who are you not able to get that you've been trying to get? There's got to be one guy that you really want, but it's just too busy.
The Rock.
The Rock would be fun.
We have a standing offer to Steely Dan.
Yes, we've been after Steely Dan, Donald Fagen, and Walter Becker are referenced a ton in our show. So all you fans of the Dan out there, get on social media, because that
there's a Change.org petition to get Steely Dan on Oh Hello on Broadway. Take to the streets.
Yeah.
Do you worry when you're on stage that because there's so many references, like there's a lot of the show that I feel like the humor relates directly to a Broadway crowd.
Yes.
Because there's inside Broadway jokes.
Yes.
There's also a bunch of inside Steely Dan jokes.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, do you worry you're going to be in front of a crowd that is not on the inside of that stuff?
We've yet to meet a crowd that's completely in the pocket with the Steely Dan stuff.
Yeah.
But that's good. People respect that you know something about something. People respect specifics.
Yeah.
They like
and they're
that.
like,
Even
these
if they
two
don't get
guys
it.
care about Steely Dan, even though I don't know, like, I haven't read the liner notes to Gaucho.
Yes.
Are you guys really huge Steely Dan fans? That wasn't ironic.
I'm a fan of Steely Dan. I think John's a massive fan.
Yeah, I
of Steely
see them every year at the Beacon.
So is that what you do?
I
You
couldn't
just-
go this year because of this stupid Broadway show.
You just sit at home like listening to Steely Dan and watching old tapes of the OJ trial?
Yes.
What if I? Yeah,
I like that.
happened?
I like a guy with
What
hobbies.
if that happened a lot?
I think that's good.
It's genuinely true.
What about the OJ trial fascinates you?
Oh, I just remember it's so visceral from growing up, and I don't know. My family debated OJ for all throughout the trial.
Literally, it was all the Mulaney's versus OJ.
Yeah, we had a civil suit against him for taking up a lot of our time.
Yeah.
I remember my mom would watch me suck at basketball, and she'd be sitting in the stands with a Walkman on, listening to the trial on AM radio.
Really?
Yeah.
So when they would debate, it would say your dad thought he was not guilty?
No. Everyone thought he was guilty.
Yeah.
It was whether my parents are lawyers, and they were like, Judge Ito should be clearing the court. You would never allow that. My dad had worked for a judge named Judge Weinfeld, and you always go, Weinfeld would never stand for this.
Now, are they the kind where are they both criminal attorneys or civil or?
And my mom's a law professor at Northwestern University, and my dad is a corporate attorney. But they both went to law school and like to talk about everything.
Yeah.
And also, it's just. I don't know. It's just the most. I mean, why did we all watch that 30 for 30? It's the most.
Trust me, I only ask you because I'm completely fascinated and obsessed with the OJ case as well.
LA in the 90s. I like footage of LA in the 90s. Is that okay
it's
to say?
Yeah, it's great to say. LA footage of the 90s and like
big,
everyone.
Stupid restaurants.
Yeah, those like Mezzaluna, like those restaurants and like where it was like people were like Westwood is the coolest neighborhood to hang out in.
Yeah.
A lot of big shoulder pads.
Floral ties.
So what did they think of, did they think Marsha Clark did a good job, or did they think she didn't? And Chris Darden, they must have been like...
Oh, they weren't like Monday morning quarterbacks about all that stuff. I'm trying to remember. It was mainly about Ito.
They didn't like him.
They were like, that is not how you run a courtroom.
Right. Well, historically, he came down... Yeah, he's not a great judge.
No.
Well, it's why when the whole world is
really
watching
bad.
us, one of the most watched... It's the first time the whole planet got to see a trial out there.
I would
was
say
a big
it's the
one.
most watched
So he was
trial.
under a lot of pressure to not fuck up.
And he fucked up.
Yeah,
but he also
blew it.
he
played to
approved
the cameras,
right. He
which is
also
so weird.
approved the idea of the whole world watching, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And then he would. It's just like unprecedented to give like these little soliloquies about what's happening as the judge.
But I think there are a lot of...
and the Anna Nicole Smith Judge Larry Seidlin.
Yeah.
They're my favorite judges because they just would talk emotionally about what was happening all the time.
I think there are a lot of judges that are like a lot of doctors who have these like God complexes that get to stand up in front of people and they're the ones who say what goes.
well, it's
and
like
stuff,
it's also
and so-
like religious people, like, or if you like, I feel like half the rabbis in the country were like wanted to be actors, and they're like, I think I'll be a rabbi and I'll have a captive audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same with priests and shit.
I think so, like Southern priests
they
and
gotta,
stuff.
They gotta open with a joke,
Yeah.
same as anyone else.
Moyles, the guys who do the circumcisions, like always are doing shtick.
I've never been
It's
to
like,
a bris that didn't have 7 minutes of material.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah,
Why
I
would
went
you
to
want
one
that?
bris. I can't go back. It was so uncomfortable. Noam's son, it freaked me out. I wasn't used to hearing a baby cry like that. Like, it was just really uncomfortable.
That's my ringtone.
The fucking animal wailing of a baby.
Also, I was at a bris where we were all like back against the wall because no one wanted to look, and the moil kept being like, "Come on, gather around."
I had to, for my best friend from childhood, I held his, like, I they give a little wine to the baby to numb it all.
Yeah.
And I was holding like the gauze of wine in the baby's mouth and like had a bird's eye view of the of the fucking operation.
That's terrible.
It was a real trip.
Yeah, it was really.
And then I did it to myself. Well, John had to, John married a Jewish woman, so he did a self. Did you do a self circumcision or no?
Yeah, there's a kit. You can do it at home.
Right. After you break the glass, then you pick up the little shards of glass
Then
and you just
go.
take care of it
Then
there.
the bride and groom depart, and there's this little kit, and yeah.
Did you convert?
No, I didn't come.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's always weird to me. No, I'm always saying.
Oh, thank God. That's cool. Okay,
No,
good.
meaning when people are religious, and it goes both ways. Where like one has to. I know a Jewish girl, and she wants to get married, but she has to marry a Jewish guy, and she wants him to convert. And I'm like, there's so much to that. Who gives a fuck?
I know, and then she'll get old enough where she doesn't care anymore.
Maybe not. Yeah, because it's like just marry a good guy. You gonna marry an asshole who converts, or a nice guy who won't? Did she ask you to, or you were just like, I didn't want?
Well, no, she was raised culturally Jewish, but no, we were married by a comedian. We didn't have a religion.
Who married you?
Dan Levy.
Who's got a special out on
Called
CISO.
Lion on CISO coming out today.
Yeah.
Wow, that worked well.
I know.
Jesus, now Dan owes me.
I know. But he did your wedding, but your family is Catholic.
Yeah, we grew up. We're the most Irish Catholic people.
It wasn't important for either one of you guys.
It's important for my family, but the older I get,
disappointed both families equally.
Yeah. And for me, I think at this point, my parents are just like the idea that I would marry someone would be exciting for them.
Do they want you? Do
Whoever
they
it
bug
is.
you?
They've given
it's
up
like
on
Joe Pesci's mom and
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I'm with him. I get a woman every night, Mom.
Yeah. And everyone comes over and she cooks John late meals.
Why don't you find a nice girl?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think they would just be psyched if I got married. But I don't have as much pressure. There's four. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and they all my siblings have 4 kids. So there's 12 of them. So
Have you come close?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, I mean,
You?
no, man, never engaged, never lived with a woman. Like, I've dated long term, a few years, but it's never been like, oh, this is
the one.
Yeah,
But you don't have like a philosophical aversion to it. You just kind of haven't. Yeah.
I kind of want a relationship at this point. I'm not pushing.
Yeah, but you
for
don't
it.
think you'd ever get married?
I'm not saying that I may.
Really?
If I love somebody enough, why not? It's like
Wow.
I've seen single life for 48 years.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
what else
You're
do I
like-
need to look for?
Right.
Right.
Well, and you and Sam, I mean, nothing.
No, not at all. I mean, we jerk off on a cracker once in a while, and the kid over here gets
a snack over here.
And that's like a family.
Yeah.
It's like trying to force
Kind of is what family is.
Yeah,
like.
yeah, it is.
video.
It literally
You
is.
start jizz
It's like
crackers.
everyone.
The parents dump all their shit on you, and you have to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Did you guys grow up like theater fans? Because that really did. I brought it up before, but that struck me when I was watching this show. Was like, these guys know a lot about Broadway.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Chicago, but there's a ton of theater from the Goodman to the Steppenwolf and Second City, and there's lots of smaller theaters there. Also, everything from Broadway either will preview there or tour there pretty quickly. And I was a theater usher at the big theaters where Broadway shows would come.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I did some plays. I liked plays all right. I mean, honestly, it's a weird thing because it's both, as we say, like a love letter to theater, but also like a stalker's note written in lipstick on a mirror. It's like there's a lot of the things about plays is stuff that we can't stand about plays.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what I think helps audiences because, like, if you're not a theater fan, if you go, you're like, oh, I've seen that. That's one of the things I fucking hate in a play.
Yeah.
What do you hate in a play?
I mean,
Fake smoking.
fake smoking is annoying. People
Have you ever
screaming.
smoked? Has anyone who's smoked
I
in a
smoked
play?
for 17 years.
Yeah.
No, has anyone who smokes in a play ever smoked a real cigarette?
Yeah, they look
it's like
fake
this
smoking.
Weird, like,
Terrible.
Up, they hold it like they're in a 40s movie.
We do it in the show, but like one-sided phone calls, where like you make a phone call and you have to repeat all the information so that the audience knows what the other person on the other line is saying.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just like also being in the crowd, being in the audience and sitting next to, I was at a play and I watched this woman open up a Tupperware of blueberries or like a plastic thing and she started eating them and you could hear the plastic and I was like, all right, that's fine. And then I saw a guy sitting on the aisle opposite her, older guy, getting so annoyed at her eating the blueberries, and then I couldn't stop watching him nudge his wife and get pissed off about that. Because so it's, for me, it's like, it's the experience, partly it's the experience of going to a play. What's it like to be in the crowd? What's it like to be on stage and acknowledge, like, to me, it's just, my issue with theater is how embarrassing it is for everybody to pretend like the two people on stage are in a Chinese restaurant. It's like, we're all in this fucking theater together. Like, it drives me
I remember
crazy.
in college being second row watching a good friend of mine pretend to be FDR. And I was just like, what, you're not FDR. at every play, we just saw the front page, which is a great play, but it's set in the 1928 and it starts with this big newsroom full of old-timey guys. And I just wanted to just walk out on stage in a hoodie and be like, hey, everyone knock it off.
Yeah, I was telling him before, I like some plays I see, but I don't love the idea of a live play. And
You don't
maybe
like musicals, too.
Yeah, no, I don't. But I don't like, there's something about it. Maybe that's what it is. We all know what's going on.
I even felt that way about sketch. When I moved to the city and was doing like improv and sketch and stand-up, like I had to stop doing sketch because I couldn't stand the idea of being on stage and not being able to acknowledge the audience, or if a bit didn't work, not being able to so we actually started doing these characters off 10 years ago at Rafifi in the East Village, and it was partly so that we could acknowledge that we were in a fucking room with people, and be like, hey, that joke worked, that didn't work.
Yeah,
we would host it.
We weren't doing like little pieces.
It just made me uncomfortable.
Well, that's the best part of stand-up, is acknowledging it feels alive. Like if something flops, you just talk about it.
Yes.
If someone makes a noise, you mention it. It's really hard to not mention what's happening.
A guy was falling asleep during the show couple nights ago, and I just started throwing Swedish fish at him until he woke up. And he
it's
didn't
fine.
wake up.
He did not. I mean, the guy
I was whipping him at him, and the whole crowd was laughing, and like we were all like, "Wake up!" And he would not wake up.
Isn't it nice
Was
to
he
know?
dead?
That was just having a great story. He was just dead.
Yeah.
But he was like a young. That's the thing. It wasn't like an older gentleman. It was like a young guy in like a hoodie. And John correctly and we can reference, and we start to get that into the show.
I said he looked like Vincent Van Gogh if he did devil sticks.
Yeah.
Like, he had like a little red beard, and he looked like a bum. And I threw Swedish fish at him.
And then we figured he was on methadone.
He really had that methadone.
More of a nod off than a comfortable
But he was
sleep.
also in the second row, and like that's not an inexpensive ticket. The whole picture made no sense to me.
When you're Nick, I guess specifically, when you're so used to like writing characters that are quick, you know what I mean, for like Kroll Show.
Sure.
Is it difficult to then go forward and be like, we're going to write this 90-minute show?
Yes and no. I mean, in this particular case, I think the reason we we were interested in doing these guys in a broader format is because we've, accumulated like 10 years of bits on them. It's like almost like an old vaudeville act. Like you have a bag of bits that you can pull out. And so we have that. And then also it's just, they're such specific men that all we need to do is take the time to focus on like their backstory, figure out where they were from. And it started to write itself and expand itself out pretty quickly just because there was already a ton of information on them. I don't know if all of the characters would have worked like this.
That makes sense that you could actually do it long form. And do you guys now at this point, would you just show up at the theater like right before? I would imagine that because...
No, my wife, Anna, is our makeup artist and
of course,
wig supervisor. We do we each do like 40 minutes of makeup.
Yeah. It's a good amount of makeup to make us look like
and
this.
we get there and we're still changing jokes and we're still messing around, so we sit there and just talk over what we want to do that night.
Yeah, it's kind of the most fun version of, for me at least, of like what you always hoped show business would be, which is like you go to your theater, and in this case it's like we've got each other to sort of go through and talk about bits that we want to change and tweak, and then all of a sudden you have this guest come in and they join you, and you have this sort of unique to the night experience, and then maybe you go have a drink or a restaurant afterwards. It just feels like you're like, oh, like back when you thought about like what show business was.
Yeah,
it's kind of that.
All day you have free, and then you go do it at night. You know? And then it's like it's like having, all told, over 10 years, we have like 3 hours of jokes that we can interchange.
Right.
And you also get to share the stage, which is so fun because there's times when you can just stop talking.
Yeah.
That's a bummer with stand-up, is you're just like, fuck, I don't feel it tonight. Or I'm like, and you don't have anyone to be like, can you just handle the next 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's very difficult sometimes when you don't want to do it and you're like, oh man, I got 45 to go.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy making each other break?
Yes.
Because I just noticing that.
Did you ever see on Carol Burnett when Harvey Korman and Tim Conway? Have you ever seen?
Well,
that?
that's our fear. That is that is sort of our fear, is that like, in comedy, I think comedians and folks are like, oh, look at them, look at them break, how fucking. But John genuinely makes me laugh every night.
We're not fake breaking. I'm doing things to disrupt the show to make him laugh.
Yes,
right.
And the audiences do enjoy.
And then the audience makes me laugh.
Right.
Because we were about to say our final lines of the show, which are, sort of like in a spotlight, very emotional, all quiet music playing. And this woman just went,
Yeah.
so loud, and I laughed so fucking hard.
It's true.
Isn't it nice to have the freedom to laugh if it fucks up? That's so great, as opposed to doing a dramatic piece.
It's crazy.
We set the tone early in the show that this is not a professional effort, and you all need to get used to it.
Well, you can all go see it. If you go to ohhellobroadway.com, you get tickets. It's at the Lyceum Theater, which is on 45th Street, and it's only playing through January 15th.
And it's legitimately funny. I saw it at
really
Cherry Lane when I did it. It's a really great show.
Thanks, Jim.
No, it's great, man.
And you can get rush tickets if you go to the theater.
On day of.
Yes.
Less expensive.
So go get tickets. Thank you guys very much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll have you
Can we
back
just
again
quickly
soon.
talk about Scientology for 45 minutes?
I would love to. I would love to. I'm doing a documentary.
We'll be right back after this. It shouldn't be anything.
Forget that I don't.
Any song that you like, we can ruin it here on Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Yeah, unless it's a against me song, because Derek would not allow that. Apparently, he has rules that he likes to be put in place.
You didn't hear about the rules?
I did not, but I heard about it
shit.
after.
Derek, I forgot to tell you. I forgot to talk to Jim about the rules of
Let's
the
sit
interview
down and discuss the rules
that you wanted him to talk to me about. Now, let's say for the record, first of all the guests today have been excellent. Nick Kroll and John Mulaney were fantastic, and you really should see the show. It's a very, very funny play.
Yes.
But, Laura Jane Grace was fantastic.
Really good.
I loved having Alice in here with her. I thought it added a great dynamic. I know D-Bag, did you have anything to do with booking her?
Yes. Yes, I booked her.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know. It's not like... I tell you something.
Did you book her? That little bump in the front of your trousers book her?
My mind booked her.
You have never seen the passion to book a guest that you've seen with D-Bag stressing out over this chick.
Of course.
Like to the here's how it went down. He started giving me. I must have 17 copies of this book, Tranny. Because he just kept handing them to me. He goes, we're doing the night show. Before we're even doing this is back in August, I guess. When did we start doing this? October? So September.
Yes.
D-Bag's like, hey, would you take Laura Jane Grace? And I knew who she was. I knew the Against Me story and everything. So I was like, yeah, that sounds interesting, blah, blah, blah. And then we start catching wind that you and I are going to be doing this. And I'm like, don't worry, Adrian, D-Bag, you guys will be cool. I'll take care of you. We'll take care of you and blah, blah, blah. And D-Bag goes, oh, good. Do you think Jim would want Laura Jane Grace? And I'm like, that's what you're thinking. That's what you're thinking. So we move forward, and every single goddamn day since we started doing this show, and it's been a month and a half now, something about this Laura Jane Grace has come up. I don't know. Jim didn't take the book home, so I don't think he wants her on the show. Only because
I don't go right home, so a lot of times I won't take things home.
Immediately. Eventually you come, you grab it, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't think he wants it. And, and then he told me once it was booked, he goes, Jim can't say all the stuff that he likes to say around Laura Jane Grace.
What were you worried I was going to say?
That wasn't quite how I phrased it. But
okay.
My thought... that whole kind of like community of punk and stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of PC kind of thing going on, and they're very gentle with their language often. Sure. So what I was saying is like maybe if she walks in, maybe not just like drop the word tranny like casually in conversation, which I didn't expect.
No. I do appreciate you teaching me how to speak to the transgender community.
Right.
As since you listened to the album, I've had no experience with that.
Yeah. You wouldn't know what to say that offends them or doesn't offend them, right?
No, not at all.
Especially, yeah. The book is called.
Derek, do you want to spell it out?
Yeah,
how do we say this?
I guess you named your book the T word. What? Was
it okay that the first thing I asked was, now that word gets a lot of people mad? Have activists gotten on you for it? I think that was a pretty good opening question.
No, it was good. It was a great interview, and I didn't doubt your ability to do a great interview.
But you did. There were some guidelines that you wanted to get across.
Okay, I just didn't want...
What were you afraid I was going to say?
I weren't afraid you were going to say anything.
I weren't afraid. Wait, did he say I weren't afraid? Hold on.
He took a big gulp.
Give me 30 seconds later.
I weren't afraid.
He took a big gulp. I weren't afraid of nothing. I weren't afraid.
Let's hear it. Let's just make sure.
Did you hear his nervous gulp?
I did.
I heard that gulp. I thought Sick Baby was going to vomit in front of us.
I was hoping he wouldn't.
I thought he'd have one of those preemie pukes.
Give me a minute. Hang on.
Okay, we're finding that clip.
Usually after a gulp like that, you hear a little plastic bottle hit the floor.
Adrian, am I misrepresenting?
I don't think so.
Okay, not so far. Okay. I just want to be fair.
No, you've been fair.
Okay.
What were you afraid I was going to say?
I weren't afraid you were going to say anything.
Gulp. I weren't afraid.
And then he was sitting there. He's like, I don't know. I'm trying to book this guest, but Roland hasn't given me an answer yet, and he's stressed out about Roland because Roland was like.
But I said yes right away.
Of course,
I was fine with it, and I'm the one who brought Bailey J to the show. We've had Venus Lux in here. We've had Mia Isabella twice. Like, what did you think I was going to say? Hey, nice tits. How big's your prick?
Yeah. Hey, you got a dick to go with those tits or what?
Yeah, I know how to speak to people.
Do you?
Yeah. Trans people don't want to be spoken to like they're children. They don't want to be talked to in such a...
They don't, Jim? Is that right?
Yeah, if you're asking, people can sense the intent when you're asking them a question.
Were you afraid that Jim would be mansplaining things to Laura?
No, I didn't. And the reason that I work for the show and I love the show is because it's brutally honest and it's not sugar-coated or anything like that, and you do treat people like real people.
Is that why you dressed up especially nice today?
No, I dressed up nice.
New shirt, teabag. New shirt, teabag.
I stiffied up a little bit.
You did, didn't you? Admit
Perhaps.
that. Admit that. You thought about what you were going to wear today. Admit that.
I wear a shirt like this in a different color every day.
Did you specifically be like, okay, I want to make sure I look a little bit professional?
Yeah, you do.
Well, yeah, when you book a guest and you have a publicist coming with them, and you know, I put on a collared shirt today instead
a
of
guest
an
who
Iron
has
Maiden
tattoos on their hands and a leather jacket.
Yeah.
You know, you want to put on your best sweater vest for a punk guest. Oh no, where's
Find the cardigan.
Where's my top hat? Johnny Rotten's coming in.
Is it true that yesterday you were talking to Travis about what time we needed to break?
No, I just said that.
No, Travis, you're lying.
That's
you
not
lied
true
to
at
me.
all.
Travis, you lied to me.
No, I would never lie to you, Sam.
Because Travis told me that you were like, you went into him and said, you know, we really should make sure that the guys break by 9 tomorrow.
Yeah,
because
that's exactly what he said.
Otherwise,
I wasn't telling him. I was suggesting. I was saying we should probably get a break out of the way.
We typically don't know when to break. That's helpful.
that's true.
It was the first show.
Yeah, I tell you this. You know what I do you know what I do in my seat? Just fucking stare at these lights. How do they get them up on the ceiling? I don't understand it. No, it's light inside, but the sun's outside. How did this happen?
You were very worried that this guest that you liked, this guest that you cared about, would be stuck out there.
Yeah.
No, it was because
No Break Sammy was in here.
No, it was because the other day Sam looked at me and he was like, "Wait, Laura's coming at the same time as Ellis," and you had a look on your face like you didn't want them to overlap too much. So I was like, "Let's make sure we get Ellis in, get some time with Ellis." So I was doing that to try to make you happy. So that's.
And you do everything to try to make me happy.
I try.
I know.
It doesn't seem to work.
You're worried about making Sam happy, and then you're just like, "Oh, I'm worried Jim's not going to ask the proper questions."
Yeah. He's like, "Let's make sure Sam's happy and Jim keeps that big fat trap shut."
Yeah. What do you
keep those vulgar words from pouring out of Jim's mouth as long as Sam's happy?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Sure.
Is that how you feel?
No.
Oh, okay.
All I did was suggest that we might just. We have a really fucked up, amazing sense of humor on this show, and
Did you get nervous when Jason Ellis started hitting on her? Be honest.
No, I was a little like
he was very, very, very forward.
Yeah, and I was just trying to read the look on her face, like, oh, like I hope. But I mean, she laughed and she enjoyed it, and
But
she
before
seemed to
that,
like him.
Before that, were you a little flustered by the whole thing?
I just wanted it to go well.
And you were worried about that. I'm saying when Jason Ellis was like,
Well,
"Yo, I'm totally hitting on
Ellis is fucking cool. Jim's fucking cool.
Well, if I use right language,
Right. No, you were nervous about it. Don't say Ellis is cool, Jim was cool. You were nervous about it. So I'm asking you, when Ellis started hitting on her, were you like, oh shit. Not to say.
For a second, and then I read the situation, and I was like, oh, she's laughing. It's great.
Adrian said that you put your hands up when Ellis started hitting on her.
I was just like,
is that true, Adrian?
Here we go.
You did that?
You did shake your hand and go.
So you were not.
He was not at
All's
ease.
well that ends well, of course. I'm not saying that. I think that you're acknowledging that the segment went fantastic.
Yeah, it did.
It was great.
Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that. But there was a lot leading up to this segment.
I mean, holy shit.
Right? Like, do you think the energy put into Laura was a bit much? Not to say that Laura's a great guest. We have lots of great guests on the show, though.
Sure.
And by the way, D-Bag, I'm so glad you booked her because she was fantastic.
She was very good.
It was a lot, though, right?
Yeah, maybe it's just my personality type.
Right, flap those gums, huh?
Well, I just... I like getting things set in stone.
Sure.
And things kept changing, and then it became a drag, and then I got to the point where I was just like, I just want an answer.
Why'd you have to say a drag? That's offensive language.
Yeah, what if she's fucking listening, bro? Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
They don't like that.
It's transphobic.
How do you know, Jim? Did you ask Derek if they like that or not? How do you know what they like or don't like?
I'm just assuming they wouldn't. Because usually when they walk in, I go, Tranny!
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. That's always
Let's
how I
get the
address.
fucking he, she in here.
That's how I address all of our trans guests. Remember when Mia came in, I was like, she-male coming up.
Hey, only lady that I'm worried about tripping over her dick. Am I right? Sit down.
Hey, sit down, pecker tits.
Were you worried he would call Laura Pecker Tits?
No, I didn't think he would call her Pecker Tits.
What did you think? Tell me what you thought I might say.
Like, what were, because you're a paranoid guy.
Yeah.
Like, you worry. You're a bit of a worrywart. Is that wrong? You're putting your hand up.
Just try to do my job well.
But am I mischaracterizing you, or are you a bit of a worrywart? Let's take a survey. Adrian, do you think he's a worrywart? Travis, do you think he's a worrywart?
Absolutely.
Okay. Roland.
Roland is voting yes. As well.
Wait. Bring Roland up to the microphone.
Roland, come here.
D-Bag's not having a good
No,
time.
he's not at all. He's sitting back unhappy.
It's relentless.
Roland.
Yes.
Did you think? How did you feel about working with? Because obviously Roland is the head talent booker of the channel.
Yeah.
You and D-Bag worked hand in hand on this one.
I hope there's a first and last.
Was it a lot?
Yes.
Why, Roland?
It's not like it's Billy Bob. It's the person.
Right, but you're saying that yeah, I did. I will. It is.
It's Laura Jane, not Billy Bob.
That's exactly part of it, though. Just because it's not like an A-list celebrity, but it's a good human story.
Yeah.
You know? And
So the same
Billy Bob's
saving that
amazing.
dog is a good human story, but it's not the same stress.
Do you see Roland's point? Like, does Roland have a point? Do you think where like to put way more energy,
sure,
into this one than like some of the huge A-listers or something?
Sure, like the lack of respect for Colin Quinn when he first came in.
Right, like you remember, you were like, he was like one Teabag, right? And you were like, get what the story.
Yeah,
gives
and you went down.
Yeah.
Boy, I bet you if Laura Jane wanted teabag.
Oh my God.
Sure,
Oh
make
my
sure
God.
she got one teabag.
Right.
In the mouth.
if Laura Jane, if she wanted a teabag, you'd probably say, yeah, but for both of us, right? Yeah. Reciprocating, right?
Some of the English breakfast.
Yeah, but yeah, there was severe disrespect thrown the way of Colin
What
Quinn.
else was he worried I was going to do? Because he won't tell me.
What
You
was the
won't
number one fear that you had for Jim?
I didn't really have a fear.
Then
It
why-
was just my thought was just keep in mind that this person doesn't come from our world of humor.
Right. So what did you think that Jim, like what's a
and
nightmare?
didn't have a prior relationship with Jim. I know that he knows how to respect people.
What's
and I
the
never
nightmare
doubted that.
scenario, though? Like, for you, because you're like a bit of a reason I brought up you being a worrywart,
yeah,
and we found evidence that you were, and a bit of a paranoid guy sometimes, you know you are, is you think of the nightmare scenarios. Not that this is definitely what's going to happen, but you get haunted by these nightmare scenarios, true or false?
Haunted is an inaccurate word. I mentioned it once.
Do you think he gets haunted by him, Adrian?
Yes, he does.
He does. He does. He does.
I don't want to speak for him, but yes.
Yes, okay. All right. So, which means that becomes a scenario that gets visualized. So what's the nightmare scenario with Jim that we were afraid of?
Yeah, what is it?
Like, tell me, like, I know you're separated from it now, but like, let's say Laura's coming in tomorrow, and I'm asking you, what's the nightmare?
I don't know, that just some crude joke about fucking trannies or something, and out of context for her, she doesn't know about his history or stuff like that. And then it's like, oh, like, I'm here to tell, like, my story, and now it's just, like, this overly sexualized thing for, you know what I mean? Or just, like, making someone uncomfortable. I would never want a guest to be uncomfortable.
The Jim would not read the guest.
Right, I wouldn't understand how to do that.
I'm not doubting his ability to do so. It's just a particular situation with this person.
Yeah, no, he's right. I probably would have tripped over it and said something clumsy and silly.
You think so?
Sure.
It's like, well, I'm just here to tell my story, and you're like, yeah, well, what if I suck your dick? And
Yeah.
She's like, what? What?
Exactly, yeah.
That's not
could
cool.
plop your prick on the table. I'll use it as a bookmark.
Yeah. Were you thinking about doing that?
Sure.
that I'm with
But
Derek, dude.
he looked concerned. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you didn't do it for Derek?
Yeah, no.
That's why I was sitting there this morning at like 8:55. I saw Alice outside, but you and I were on a roll. So I was like, guess who's waiting? And then I saw D-Bag, and I was like, fuck, I got a break.
Yeah.
I don't want the boss getting mad.
Yeah, he's so mad he doesn't want us to be late.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, he's always a month early.
Do you think that? Do you think being born prematurely made it so that you like things had to be on time?
Yes.
You can't, you're talking off the mic.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you think so? How do you feel right now?
Aggravated.
Why? What are you aggravated
Because I'm
at?
just trying to be a producer, and I'm trying to do my job the best that I can. And fine. It's
what?
I'm just trying to do my job.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. I need to be like
made fun of.
Well, not
Well,
made
you are
fun of.
implying
It's
that one of
just-
the hosts doesn't know how to do an interview.
That's not what I was doing.
Do you think
I
that's what
was
he's doing?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Yeah, that's
fine then. That's not what my intent was.
You know, it's important that we learn lessons, right?
Okay.
Do you feel like this is a teaching Sometimes, D-Bag, I worry that when we do things like this, you don't take away the teaching moments.
That's true.
And you just get kind of upset by it and think that we're just picking on you. Do you get the teaching moments here?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you this. you're very good at a lot of your responsibilities.
Sure.
Your YouTube channel is En Fuego right now. You know what that means?
Good at grooming the mustache. Well
yeah,
done.
Exactly. You have a great mustache. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you have not gotten a haircut since we told you not to, correct?
No, I've not.
Because we're going to do a mushroom haircut so you look like AJ Soprano from season 1, right?
Oh, good.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But we do have to. We're evolving. What did Laura Jane Grace say today? Evolve, right? She's not transitioned. She's transitioning. That's what you're doing. I'm transitioning you. We're transitioning you.
That's right. And I guess I'm being transitioned too from my crude humor into an appropriate.
Well, D-Bag's making you into a host.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I've isolated a lot of guests with my crude, crass jokes.
Right. Yeah. Because if there's one thing people come out of here, it's like that little Jimmy Norton is really unlikable.
Yeah. Like I'll be like, hey, your book's called Tranny. How about you stick it in my shitter? We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Tranny, huh? I guess you are one. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk to us about it, ho-hum?
Yeah. You know who's not going to buy this book? God.
That's
How
right.
about that? No, but you understand that, there are teaching moments, and you got to go home. You're going to have to go home upset. But my hope, my prayer.
So he learns.
Is exactly. That you step out of the muck and you go, you know what the takeaway from that was? And you figure out what the takeaway was. Ask Adrian if he's ever gone home upset.
I need a sleepless night, courtesy of Sam.
That's right. That's right.
But it makes us better, right, boss?
That's right. That's right. And maybe it should be 2 sleepless nights because the implication was that Jim didn't know how to interview people.
Sure.
But you're great at YouTubes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that is a talent. And guess what? Look around the room. Who's able to edit video like you? No one, right?
That's right.
That makes you the man in that department, right? But then what happens? We step outside, we go a little crazy, and things get a little painful. Why is Roland waving at me? Oh yeah, come on in, Jane Lynch. How are you?
I'm so good.
We were just talking to D-Bag. He's
Hello.
not having a good time, so he's glad that you're
How are
here.
you?
What's going on with you, D-Bag?
Is there anything I shouldn't say to Jane? He's worried that I'm going to make a crass joke. We had a guest in before.
Yeah.
And as one of the hosts, he doesn't think I know how to talk to people.
We caught D-Bag trying to behind the scenes give instructions to Jim as to how to host the show.
Our guest was transgendered, and he was worried I was going to make a crass joke.
Okay. Well, they could probably take it.
I think so.
You would hope.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
What's going on, Jane?
I'm touting my Christmas album. I have a big band Christmas album called Swingin' Little Christmas. So they grabbed me and said, "Talk to the boys." So I remember the last time I was here. I don't think I talked about whatever I was touting, and we just had a great conversation. I'm open to any of it. Just download "Swingin' Little Christmas" on iTunes, and then I'm open for questions.
Well, I tell you,
I'll take your calls.
I'm glad that you're making this album. You know why?
Why?
Because to me, the part of 40-year-old virgin that fucking still makes me laugh every time I see it is when you start singing in Spanish.
Yes.
I love that.
A little inside information for you. That is actually taken from a dialogue, or as we said in Spanish class, a dialgo.
Oh.
Right from the ALM Spanish 1, level 1 book.
Is it a hard language to learn? Believe me, I really want to learn Spanish. It would help with certain online communications.
And Spanish is actually not a hard one to learn.
It's not, right? It's not like
No.
French or Russian or...
Well, French is a Romance language as well, and they're both Romance languages along with Latin and Italian. But maybe it's just because it's around. It's more prevalent in the United
My mother
States.
made me take French in high school because she thought it would make me seem smarter.
Yeah.
It was like an educated person's language, which was fucking terrible. I wish I had taken Spanish.
Yeah,
it's
'cause
so much more practical.
There's no practical use for it in the United States.
None. Or Latin. That's there's no use for Latin at all anymore unless you're doing the mass
Or being a priest.
or being a priest. I don't even think. Well, I'm sure they still learn it, but it's a dead language. Let's face it. Beautiful language, but it's kind of not useful.
When I was in middle school, they got all the smart kids. They offered them to take Latin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're smart, just have them learn a language that you can use because they can master it.
Yeah,
Like if
exactly.
they master Latin, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I know.
Nothing.
Nothing with it except maybe do an old timey mass. That's about it.
How many years did you take it?
I took Spanish for 2 years, so I don't really know it that well, but I find a way to butcher it in almost every character that I've created. communicated on my own. I do bad Spanish.
Well, these weird apps and stuff, you can you can look things up immediately now, and there's like when you're
Like
on
Google
Facebook.
Translate?
Yeah, well, when you're on
Right.
Facebook, it's like translate this. So it's getting to a point where I think eventually they'll be able to map our voices so well that you'll just talk and it will translate in what is almost your
Would be
voice.
kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I guess it would take away the intimacy of actually listening to somebody's inflection and
it does do something about like taking away culture.
Yeah,
Like you don't have to
exactly.
learn anyone else's culture.
Yeah.
You're just
Well, you don't
like,
have to learn math anymore. I mean, it's like all this stuff is kind
Well,
of.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Not learning
aspect.
math
Yeah,
anymore?
not learning math. Don't have any aptitude toward that at all.
But you know what I mean? It's like eventually
Yeah.
it's just gonna be we're all just communicating easily and it won't matter. I'm
Maybe we won't
hoping.
even use words anymore. Maybe it'll just be like,
Yes.
psychic. And
Yes, that's right. Points at genitals and then money.
It'll get that simple.
could make interactions much, much easier.
Yeah.
It certainly will.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? Are you
I'm
like
good.
a lot of folks are coming apart and upset of the
Yeah.
whole election? Are you like handling it? Or are you like?
Yeah, I in the beginning it was kind of tough. It felt catastrophic.
What was so tough about this one compared to like George Bush? Because so
Oh,
many people
big,
in
big
Hollywood.
difference.
What is it that made people so upset?
Well,
with
George
Trump?
Bush is a sane human being, and I'm just concerned about Trump. He was really ugly in the election, and he was, it just you couldn't predict what he was going to do, and it makes like Romney and George Bush look like that's okay. I'm even thinking Mike Pence is fine,
Right. Because at least you know where he stands, right?
Yeah,
like
I'm
at
not
least
sure
you know.
about Trump, and you just have to hope for his higher angels, and that they will, and there are a lot of people around him who really think he's awesome. So you got to hope that we'll learn what that is at some point.
So far, do you think like I've only seen him talk a little bit so far. He did the 60 Minutes interview.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of a different.
Yeah, it is. It's a different guy, and it was very. It was kind of a relief to see him.
It was, right?
Yeah, kind of nice.
So do you think people are hopefully the reactions will kind of taper off?
I think there's going to be. I think people are going to continue protesting. There's going to be vigilance in terms of that.
Really?
It could be
For a while.
It could be a tough time.
What is the people are protesting? What is it like? What is the basic theme? What do they want?
I think that people think that
the race baiting and
that he so doesn't represent them. You know what I mean? And because
and
it got
he's
so
anti
ugly,
them, not
right?
even represent, but anti,
right?
And
Yeah.
that's a scary.
He said some things that probably could be interpreted as that. Definitely, yeah. He probably should have phrased it.
Interpreted, he'd said them.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, with the Mexican thing got twisted a little bit, but he didn't say that well. He didn't say the immigration thing well. Like wanting legal.
Well, he said it well for some people who are listening with with certain ears. And, so it's just gonna. It's.
I think that's
we got to come together though. Maybe this is our opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't do any YouTubes of like crying into the camera or anything.
That's the funny part to me. I get people hating him, but it's funny to watch the self promotion people are doing, like weeping into camera just to get it out there so people can go, "Wow, look at so and so's emotions."
She really cares.
Yeah, isn't that silly?
Yeah,
I mean, didn't even vote.
That's crazy. Yeah, but if you didn't vote, I don't want to hear from you.
I normally don't vote, but I did this time, even though I don't say who because votes are secret.
Yeah.
But
we don't talk politics here.
You normally don't vote. I vote all the time, and I guess I don't care if somebody doesn't vote. I really don't.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
I probably should.
Yeah.
We have to let you go to your next thing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you popped in,
Yeah,
Jane
thanks
Lynch.
so much, you guys. I appreciate
and, everybody go to iTunes and download the Christmas album.
Yeah,
Is that
Swingin'
right?
Little Christmas.
Okay, that's very,
big
very
band,
fun.
Big band album, and it swings like crazy.
Christmas music is fun.
I love it.
It's the best.
It's the best.
Thank you very much,
Bye,
Jane
Jane.
Lynch.
All right,
take care. See you.
And we're going to take off. The show's
Yeah,
done.
our show is finished.
We're done.
I'm heading to Florida. I got the Improv in Fort Lauderdale tomorrow and Saturday.
Yes.
And then I'm back for other gigs leading up. Who is that?
Who's who?
That blonde that just walked by.
I don't know. I didn't see her.
Christy Brinkley.
Holy fuck!
She looks great.
Holy fuck!
She complained that Jason Ellis got her and we didn't. What the fuck?
God damn, does she look good? What shouldn't I say to her?
D-Bag doesn't take it well.
No, he
does
doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He's very upset.
He is.
Trees.
Huh?
We're talking about trees.
Why don't talk about trees?
Into the mic. What'd you say, Roland?
Don't talk about trees.
Why? Oh, Jesus.
Billy Joel.
Oh, Billy Joel. You know what? I apologize. Let me, I tried to stop it.
You know what?
My fault.
You know what soundbite D-Bag was worried about you playing?
Oh.
That's what he was worried about.
Oh, I understand.
Oh, shit, this bitch got a dick.
Oh, I probably didn't even think. Or you lucky.
D-Bag, you were worried about that?
You were worried I was going to go, hey, Laura Jane.
I've never heard that name on a man before, but I'm sure it's all right.
Oh, that would have been bad, huh?
I actually forgot about that clip. Is that what you were worried about?
I didn't even think about that.
Okay, me neither.
Bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played those for a I'm not an offensive asshole.
Troy, you think we were unfair at the end of the show here?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he just worries about everything. You know, the thing about him, too, is he does such a great job.
Hey, would you give him a hug?
Sure.
Adrian, get over there and give him a hug, too. Roland, would you jump in on the group hug? You're not going to do it? Okay, there it is. Look who's better. Look who's better. Jim is going to be in Florida on Friday and Saturday. You can go to jimnorton.com for tickets.
Yes.
And I'll be back here live tomorrow. So everybody, William H. Macy's coming in tomorrow?
I'm annoyed I can't be here for him.
Yeah, I would love to do one with you.
Yeah, I love him.
But I'll tell him you said hello.
Please do. He doesn't know me.
I will. Oh, hello. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to go do Jason Ellis' show right now.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
This has been Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.